Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday, 420, April 20th, 2023. Y'all do what you want with that. It's so great to be here, and I am so glad to have you all here with me, guys. Sorry I missed you yesterday. I had doctor's appointments. My apologies, but I am back, and we are here together. Today, guys, we're revisiting the Summerwells case. Sad Summerwell case from the very beginning to right here and now where we're at today on this case. We're going to go back and look at it, and if we could have missed anything at all, it's been way too long, folks. We need to get justice for this little girl. That is what we're going to do. See you there, folks. Let's do this. Hey. Bear said she was joining me, so we're just waiting for her to arrive. Welcome, all you guys. Great to have you here. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you all so very much. Good to have you here. 100%, folks. As you can tell with the title, as I said today, folks, we're revisiting Summerwells. As I've been saying, we're going to, well, today's the day. We are going all the way back to the very beginning of this case. I have a huge passion for this case and always have. We're going to the very beginning and bringing it all the way up to right here and now. I don't even know if we can do it all in one day, but we're going to do it. Maybe we can see if we can find something that we missed. Whatever, we're going to do it. Welcome, Mama Bear. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. So that is what's on the agenda today. Agenda today, guys. That is what we're doing. It's been too long, folks. Way too long that we haven't heard nothing, and it just it's too much. So I know there's quite a few of you guys in here that have the same passion for this case that I do. So we're all going to jump into this head first and see what we can find. Thank you for joining me, Mama Bear. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for that, Cece. Let's see, who do we have here with us today? Miss Cece, the sweetest lady on the internet, is with us. Miss Tiffany Guzman, welcome, darling. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Dustin, PPR, good to see you. I haven't really checked them, but I will check them, though. Mrs. M, such a pleasure to have you here. As always, thanks for joining us. Mr. Lance, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Derek, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being here. Good golly, Miss Molly. I knew she was going to be here. Good golly, Miss Molly. Thanks for joining us today. Miss Molly is another one that has a high passion for this case, guys. A very strong passion. Transporter, what's up, brother? Good to see you. What's up, Strike, little brother? How are you doing today? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you. Miss April Stoll, good to see you. There's that weird Dago guy in here again. Whatever. He can come or go. It is what it is. Let's see. Miss Nikki, the Wandering Orphan, is in the house. Good to see you, Nikki. Thanks for joining us today, hon. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Am I late or something? I said 12:30. Nope, I am not. on the mic. Mikey, what's up, brother? Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us today. Always a pleasure to have all of you all here, and I appreciate you guys so very much. Too many equipment. Yeah, it was a rough night that night, buddy. It was definitely a rough night. I'll make sure that I have everybody else's invites in here. Come on in, guys. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come on in, sit down, have a conversation with Mama Bear and me. We got lots to talk about. A lot. That's not a lie, guys. And like I said, we're doing it all from the very beginning, the very first press conference till right here and now. It's very possible to miss something. It's been too long. I don't even want to say how long it's been because it's been too long. That there's nothing that we have for this little girl. And my heart is wherever she is, and it has been from day one. So
that's sweet, Tiffany.
What we're doing. She's Mama Bear, you're an angel. Well, what the hell? What am I? Jeez. I started the thing.
My middle name.
I made all the noise for it. Jeez. I'm just teasing. I am absolutely teasing. You absolutely right. She is an angel. She's an awesome, amazing person, guys. Heather's in the house. Good to see you, sis. Thanks for joining us today. Where is Miss Brandy? I haven't been able to talk to her all day. She's got me worried, and so does Pookie. I haven't talked to her in 3 days.
I think hers is just her phone.
I'm hoping that that's all that is. Miss Vicky, oh my goodness gracious. Welcome. Good to see you, Vicky. Thanks for joining us today. Great job the other night out there at the Octagon Hall. Miss Vicky was an amazing investigator the other night, guys. It was a great show. You guys missed it if you weren't there. For those of you that were, thank you guys so much for joining us over at Professional Paranormal Research the other night. It was an awesome show that night. Yep, 22 months. That is 22 months too long. Yes, you did, Miss Vicky. You caught me. Oh, there she is. There she is. Good to see you. Save me for myself. Good to have you here again. For those of you that don't know who that is, that's Miss Sylvia. And I talked to her this morning. It's great to see you here, Sylvia. Thank you for joining us. Come on in, everybody. Get comfortable. We ain't going nowhere for a minute. We're going to be busy today. Okay, I got to make sure I get these invites out. That's what I was doing. I just can't shut my mouth long enough to do it. I see you're not disagreeing with me. Told you guys, she thinks I talk too much. You talk too much. Shut up. I could just see her sitting at her dinner table at night.
Hey, Pupper.
Serving him, just sitting there and just putting a hand in going. And her husband says, what's the matter? That Dago just talks so damn much. I'm sick of it. I hear his voice in my sleep. I'm done with it.
What?
She's laughing. She's like, what, do you have a camera in my house? How do you know that?
This morning it was funny. I was out in the garage putting the leftover food and stuff from my boxes up and came in, and Matt said, Dago really needs to talk to you because all I keep hearing is konnichiwa, konnichiwa.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a hold of you guys early this morning because I wanted you guys to know that we were doing this today. Well, Molly especially. I couldn't get a hold of Heather, and Heather's always wanting to know a little ahead of time if she can. So I was trying to get a hold of all you guys, and usually it's no big deal, but today was the day that you guys were all doing something, so it just didn't happen. So it was screaming konnichiwa, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I thought we both were laughing, so.
That's great. I love that one. Welcome, Marie Duffy. Good to see you today. Thanks for joining us. Yes, thank you so much, Miss Heather. That is awesome of you. Thank you, guys. This channel, I'm just going to put it out there, is 100% crowdfunded, folks. If it's not for that, I don't exist. I'll just be honest with you guys. That's how I cover the bills to make me come out here. So anybody that would want to consider supporting the channel to keep us alive and running, please feel free. There's Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App links there. I absolutely appreciate you guys more than my own underwear. So do what you got to do if you can do it. Love you guys so much. I'm waiting on somebody to throw something back at me for that one.
Yep, Tiffany, you're right. Hello and goodbye in Japanese.
Konnichiwa.
Kind of like aloha. It means the same.
Absolutely, Sylvia. I told you guys, when I don't see you guys for a little while, I get a little nervous and I try to check up on you guys as often as I possibly can. Just to make sure you guys are doing okay. Because again, you guys are family, as far as I'm concerned. All right, I think I got everything out.
That'll be cool.
What are we talking about? I am doing good, Marie. About as good as I can be. So thank you so much for asking, and I hope you're doing well. We got 26 beautiful people in here today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please leave some DNA on that like button. Share this out to, I don't care who you want to share it to, your neighbor, your neighbor's dog, the birds across the street, the squirrels in the backyard, whoever it is, share it out to them, guys. Bring them on in here. Let us talk about what we're talking about with the whole world. We need to. That's right. When you're here, you're family. Period. Amen to that one, Molly. Thank you so much. We are family. I got all my brothers and me. I'm not singing no damn Smurf song, Jokey. That's what I've been calling him too. It's Jokey Smurf. It is beautiful out here today, by the way, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Dago wears banana. What the hell, Popper? I thought you were my friend. You're not supposed to tell my secrets. I told you that in confidence, brother. You can't be telling people stuff like that. Actually, I have one that looks like a watermelon, so. Good deal, Tiffany.
Hey, Mike.
Good day, Mike A. Again, guys, for those of you that joined us over at Professional Paranormal the other night when they were doing their investigation, thank you so much for being there. It was a great show, great night, very informative, very interesting. So thank you guys all for following us over there. Very much appreciated. Dustin appreciates it. Miss Vicky appreciates it. Everybody else does too.
Yeah, it was great.
If you guys weren't there, I'm sorry. Go back and check it out. It was awesome. Thank you so much, Vicky. I appreciate that. Now, for those of you, man, I need him. Can you chase them out? I mean, you may not want them to leave, though, Tiffany. They might be keeping your house safe for you. You never know. Pink. What's up? Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Pink.
26 amazing people in here. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Please hit that like button on the way in. Just leave a little DNA, and I will come back and find you later on if I have to. I swear I will. What is she saying? Thank you, everyone, for being so there with us in chat, for all the live and support, especially thanks to our brother DS. Absolutely. I would never have it any other way. You are absolutely welcome.
I was just getting confused by all the bears. There was mama bear, there was baby bear, there was
3 bears, yes. There was a couple bears.
Said we just needed Goldilocks.
That's it. Well, you had Dustin. That's close enough.
Yeah, that'll work.
Dustin Locks and the 3 bears. And it was Yo-Yo Baby's birthday. We didn't get to see her, but I hope she got to see her videos. Dustin made a
Yeah,
a
those were
very very interesting video for her. Dustin is now going to be called Banana Man from now on, by the way. Um, and it was very heartfelt and very true. So that was
mm-hmm.
awesome. I'm sorry to hear that, Marie.
Yeah, I happened to watch those like first thing in the morning before I was really awake, and I was like, "Oh, Dustin, what?" Like, what are you doing? Mm.
Yeah. Thank you, Tip, Nikki. I appreciate that. And don't worry, Sylvia. You worry about you, hon. No worries.
Well, it's good to see you, Vicky.
And then again,
I'll
it
come
is
up
good to
on
see you.
panel one time, sometime with you guys.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
100%. You seem to like your seem to enjoy yourself over there as well. So
I do absolutely.
I
That's what I
love
told him.
that.
I was like, next time you're like up towards Indy, he has to like snag
Mhm.
me to go with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be doing. We're heading to Alabama sometime this summer for vacation to see her family, and I plan on because we got to go right through Kentucky, and I want to stop down through there if I can get it together, where I get everybody together at once. I'd like to see if maybe Zeke can show up and Dustin and Vicky and anybody else, and we can just hit it just one night, and then head on back, keep going to Alabama. I'd love to be able to do that. So
That would be fun.
that place is pretty wicked. It really is.
I think this summer we're gonna try and go up to. I think it's Mackinac Island, Michigan, way up north.
Mackinac, yes,
I think we're gonna try and do that this summer.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Oh, and for those of you that are 30 people in here, you guys are amazing. I love you guys so much.
Yay.
Please hit that like button and share it out. You guys are beautiful people. I think is Dustin PPP engaged? He might be engaged to a mannequin now. After that night, I don't know. You have to ask him. She had a thing for him. I'll be honest with you. So that's up. That's between him and her, though. You got to ask him. He did get a date out of it, I think, if nothing else. Um, we'll see. So, for those of you that aren't familiar today, I don't know how many. I think most everybody is familiar with the Summer Wells case, guys. I covered this case wholeheartedly, fully from the beginning of this case. As soon as the Gabby Petito Brian Laundrie case ended, I jumped headfirst into this one. Anything with children, you guys know that it is a big passion of mine and ours in here, Mama Bears as well. Anything that has to do with children, we get fully invested in 100%. And it's just sad. Okay. She was a 5-year-old, beautiful little girl that had all the innocence in the world in her and disappeared. And it doesn't make any sense. And it should have never happened. And at this point, all I want to do is to bring her home. That's all that I care about. I have, of course, everybody has bad feelings about it because it's been so long. I understand that. But I am not going into the negative with this one. I'm trying not to. But there's a lot to talk about with it, folks. So for those of you that have not been involved, seen this case, know about this case, you are going to learn about it today, 100%. As I said, quite a few of my moderators are very, very invested in this, have a lot of passion for this. So we are going to be digging. Like I said, we're going all the way back to the very beginning, and we're going to bring it right up to where we are right now at this point. It is. It's a very, it definitely pulls on the heartstrings. That's no lie. So that is where I am with it. At least you can. Well, the mannequin, yes. I'll be honest with you guys. If you haven't seen the video, you need to go watch it. I've seen mannequins my whole life. We all have, right? I've never seen a mannequin that busty in my life. And when they turned the camera around, I looked and I was like, what? Whoa. it looked like a real person. It was probably one of the prettiest mannequins I've ever seen in my life. Wherever they found these mannequins, it was like, wow. I mean, and it was interesting. This mannequin had a liking for Dustin for sure. So interesting. So, oh yeah, we're gonna get into her too, Tiffany. We're getting into all of it. There's a lot to it too. This is one of the most complicated cases I've ever looked at and or worked on my entire time doing this kind of stuff, guys. It's there's just too much. There's too much that is involved with it. Too much that wasn't involved with it that there should have been. If you know what I'm saying by that. So it's just too much. Um, a transporter was there that night too. He was having transporter was cracking me up the whole night. I'll be honest with you.
Seriously.
It was a trip.
He's like, I'm not a comedian. I'm being serious. I was like, I know, but it's still funny.
Y'all are gonna find Dracula under the floor, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It was interesting. It was interesting. He said one chatting up a mannequin, another one talking to where'd it go? Talking to Bat Dracula in the barn, then trying to raise the dead in the graveyard. Oh yeah, great fun. He didn't want to go to bed. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. He was like, I'm tired, but I'm not going to bed. I'm too scared. That was hilarious. It was great. I think we were all dying. Heather was losing it. Everybody was. Okay. All right. Now, let's see here, guys. Gotta find it now. I am in my downloads, and I have so many of them. I didn't even pull out my notebooks.
Throwing rocks. I must missed that part.
Oh yeah, there was a Bigfoot throwing rocks at the barn too.
Oh, missed that.
Something was throwing something at the barn. I'll be honest. I heard that all the way through here. I wasn't there, and I heard it. So mannequins were making faces and hitting on Dustin. It was crazy.
Figure out where I fell asleep.
And something licked poor Vicky's forehead. That was weird.
Hey, Whistle.
Uh-oh. Thick baby diaper wears in the house. What's up? What's up?
Hey, Toodles.
Mr. Whistle, what's up? Good to see you. 32 beautiful people here. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm going to bring up the initial press conference for those of you that are not familiar with this case. I don't think many of you are not familiar, but again, we're doing this, guys, because this case has started to go cold, and I'm not okay with that, not at all. So,
I bet it was, Vicky. I couldn't imagine.
Weirdest right? Okay. One moment, Mama Bear, as I'm loading this up. If you want to keep the, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting experience. So before we all get serious, I want to say, do not buy scented markers. Why is that, Molly? Hey, Jules. How are you, hon?
Welcome, Jules. Thanks for joining us today, hon. If you're not busy, you're more than welcome to join us up here on panel since you've been wanting to get into it yourself. It's up to you. I know you usually work during the day, but whatever you want to do, you have a spot up here too. You're welcome.
So, Molly, why shouldn't we buy scented markers? I bought some before, but it's been years ago when the kids were little. Been here on calls. I really hate this headset. Okay. second, guys.
One second, guys. This is my pharmacy. I'll 1 second. I'll be right back with you guys.
You're fine. Because the husband comes home and looks at you funny and asks why you have little colored dots all over. Molly, you kill me. Hey, Wisdom. Good to see you, hon. Molly. I don't think you're supposed to put them that close to your nose, honey.
Welcome, Sherry. Thanks for joining us.
And he calls me Sniffer. Oh, girl, I love you. Goodness.
Let's try to go for me to get Dago a life-size smart pet minute. Okay. You're insane. I promise you right now, I ain't buying no damn Smurfette doll. You start to go me. It ain't gonna be Smurfette. And who's snipping markers? What the hell's going on over here? Molly, come on now.
She said, don't buy smelly markers. And I was like, why? And she said, LOL, because the husband comes home and looks at you funny and asks why you have little colored dots all over by your nose. And then calls you Sniffer.
You know why I'm laughing, right? I know why you're laughing, at least, because as soon as you say that, we envisioned this. A little Molly with little colored dots all over her nose with markers like.
Right.
Yeah, I can picture it, Molly Cat. I sure can. Oh my God.
Hey, Brandy. Where you been all day?
What's up, Brandy girl? Good to see you. All right.
All right, April. At least she'd smell good anyway.
Yep. These are facts. Guns was shooting outside my house just now. Well, then you stay inside your house. This is what happens when you live in where you live, my friend. Molly, don't feel bad. My grandson used them in his hand. Way people got shoot 3 guys. I don't know, bud. The world is crazy nowadays, buddy. It really is. All right, guys. This is TBI. This is one of the first press conferences from TBI when they had put out the Amber Alert for her when she went missing. And again, like Molly said, it's been 22 months, guys. It's going on 2 years. It's just way too long. Way too long. Scented erasers and markers. Wow. I used to love the scratch and sniff stickers when we were in elementary school. I thought those were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you only got them if you were good or you did something good, so I never got to get them. So
what I didn't understand is why they made the Mr. Yuck poison control stickers scratch and smell, because it smelled like. Why?
Actually, yep, that was. You know what? That's funny you said that about that. I took that sticker, and we drew up a thing because one of the bands I played in, we called ourselves Mr. Yuck. It was hilarious. So we got yelled at for it. So we had to change the name. But my drum, the front of my drum was a big Mr. Yuck sticker is what it looked like. It was awesome.
Oh, geez.
They were everywhere. We just had to change the was it a K or a C? We had to change it to or something like that because it was different than what it actually was for Mr. Yuck. But it's been a long time. The enhanced photo, yeah, Sherry, I know. She's a beautiful little girl. Again, guys, let me know how the audio is for this. We're gonna kick this off and stop wasting time gabbing to get this rolling. Like I said, we may not even be able to do this in one full day. either way, whatever we don't get through today, we're gonna. In fact, I could almost guarantee we're not. We're gonna pick it up another day. But we got to do it. So here we are. If you guys have any questions during, I'm going to talk through this whole thing probably. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. Again, guys, if you want to, where's it at? Anybody wants to call in, today's the day to do it for sure. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this at any point. The number is 234-703-4047. Again, guys, justice for Summer Wells. We have to make something happen. Somebody has to make something happen with this case. It's been way too long. All right, off we go to the races. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting this. Please, guys, don't forget to share this out and leave comments at the end. I appreciate that so very much. So does YouTube. And again, tonight, guys, just real quick before I get into this, I'll do it again later, but we are going to be doing the true story behind the movie Candyman. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you join us for that tonight. Should be a good deal. And we will be starting our movie nights here very, very soon, guys. So if you're not a member, it only takes $2.99, and you get all this and all of us. Once you become a meatball, that's it right there. So check it out, folks. Check it out.
Any evidence at this point to confirm that's what occurred. For that region,
let everyone know that what a big asset that Mount Carmel Baptist Church has been to us. They've opened their doors, their church, their fellowship hall, their land. And as y'all see, this is a very remote area.
The first big problem I have, I'm going to give you guys right off the bat. This is the sheriff for Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. His name is Ronnie Lawson. This man is a cousin to the father of the little girl that's missing, Dawn Wells. They're cousins, okay? I have a problem with that, and I have had a problem with that, and I'm just giving you guys that right here from the beginning. I do not like this man. I do not trust this man, and I do not feel that this man has done anything near what he should have done for this case. So I'm giving you guys that right up front, just so you know. Because throughout this whole...
Wouldn't that be like a conflict of interest? He wouldn't even... He shouldn't even have been able to be allowed to be
involved in the case. You're absolutely right, which is why TBI was involved in it as well. And I don't understand why, when TBI and the FBI got involved in it, he was not removed. But he, for some reason, had to keep himself involved in this. That's bothered me from day one. There's something about that wrong. Molly said, or his brother. Very true, Molly. Very true. He should have been removed, just like they do if you have a conflict of interest when you have a court case going on and they'll take you to a different venue for the court. It's the same scenario. Nope, didn't happen. I don't like it. Something is wrong with that right there from the very beginning.
100%. Yeah.
So, moving along. And it's gonna be like this through the whole day, guys, because there's so much that we need to talk about, address it specific. I'm glad you asked that question, Mama Bear, because that is a very important point, guys. So, and again, that goes for you guys too. If you have questions, Mama Bear's gonna say things. Any of you guys, all day, however you guys want to do it, because this is what we have to do for this.
Desperate trouble if we didn't have that place to set up our command post. With that said, we use every available resource that we have. And today I want to use you all. I want the word to get out to all the residents in the Upper Beach Creek community, Hawkins County and Sullivan County. We need the residents to go back today, tonight, tomorrow, as soon as possible, go back and check their entire property and out.
Yeah, guys, this either headphones or turn it up. This recording is low. I have this blasted. I don't know why it's so loud or so low. My apologies, but if you can, crank it up or headphone it or something so you'll hear it better. My apologies.
outbuildings, any barns, any place a child could hide. We desperately need you to do that for us. It's easier for you to check your own property than it is to send officers there. We have not stopped. As the captain will tell you, we've been 24/7 for 6 days now. So we desperately need help from the community now searching their own property. Any questions? Okay, Captain.
Thanks, Sheriff. As both of them have stated, we will continue to search for Summer Wells until we locate Summer Wells. As of June 21st, 2021, search and rescue efforts for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells will continue throughout the day and also the night. At this point, we have utilized 72 agencies from Tennessee.
Just so you guys know, Summer went missing on June 15th. Okay, so we're 6 days into this. I have the other press conference from the very beginning, but I just wanted to get from here and go forward. That way you guys know what's going on, because this is TBI that's talking. I trust them more than I trust Lawson, so just know that.
Ohio, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina assisting in these search efforts. Numerous specialized search and rescue groups and canine teams have been represented from these multiple different agencies. To date, we have estimated approximately 2,400 acres have been searched since Tuesday night when she was reported missing. The rugged mountainous terrain continues to cause problems and slow the search operations at times. The search will continue Tuesday morning into Wednesday morning. An updated release will be issued as new information becomes available. And as stated before, if anyone has any information on the disappearance of Summer Wells, please contact Hawkins County Sheriff's Department and our 1-800-TBA-FIND. Thank you.
We'll open it up for a few questions at this time. Just wondering, has Summer ever wandered off before? According to family members, it's not common for her to wander off.
Saturday, there was a pretty extensive search into the evening. Can you elaborate on what that tip was and why there was such a large presence for crews to come back out?
Anytime we have information that could potentially lead us to locating Summer, we're going to use all resources. Crews were in the area following up on a lead. Unfortunately, Summer's still missing.
How is the changing weather impacting your search?
Sure, that's a great question. Captain Coop, can you explain?
So the projected forecast here for the next 24 to 48 hours will change our approach. It will not change our aggressive approach. The only thing that this will change, it will change maybe what terrain we approach at this time. Due to severe thunderstorms, we can't put our teams in danger to turn around and maximize the situation. We are monitoring weather 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with live weather updates. We are also utilizing the National Weather Service, who calls us on a routine basis. If there's any type of weather that's approaching our immediate area, they have been more than helpful with notifying us in a very timely manner to allow us to know where we can plan on how we're going to approach these areas.
Talking about the weather, is there concern about some of these crews from other areas having to go back to their area to respond to storms there?
Speaking with some of these teams, especially the teams that have been coming out of state, traveling 4+ hours, they also have had to do what we've had to do is utilize as much resources as we can to find Summer Wells, but we still have to be able to cover our areas. So a lot of these people, they're still allowing people to stay back. When these crews from out of town then return, they'll swap out. Those crews will then monitor their areas and send us fresh crews, and we are doing the same thing for our resources here locally.
Do you know when the active search will potentially turn into a recovery mode instead of potential rescue mode?
Let's elaborate on that.
We will address that at some point, but right now our focus remains on finding Summer. We're using all resources as of today, and we want that to be the focus right now.
This is a question more for maybe Leslie and Sheriff Lawson. You just mentioned that you had used some surveillance video, things that you had asked for earlier. Can you elaborate what you saw in that surveillance video and how that might have helped you?
Well, as you know, and you guys helped us get the word out, we asked residents to let us know if they had surveillance cameras around their home or trail cameras. Residents have reached out. We've reviewed those photos and video, and if we identified a vehicle in the video, we would identify the driver and then speak with the driver to interview them to see if they had any information.
How long, when someone typically moves, how long does it take to identify? Is this exceptionally long?
Every case is different. It's a case-by-case situation.
On day 6 now, for maybe the folks that are out there in the field, how are you keeping, I guess, morale and spirits? How I'm sure folks are tired. They've been out here tirelessly for days on end now. How are you kind of keeping folks engaged and spirits up?
Ultimately, the people that's involved with the search operations, we all have the same outlook. We will not quit until we find Summer Wells. So these guys have spent countless hours, day in, day out, nighttime. The thing that I stress to my guys is if you're getting to the point that you're getting tired, please take a break, get
Hang on. Okay, why? Here we go.
We keep each other's spirits up. It's all a team effort. And elaborating on it, a lot of times you guys being up and you start seeing a lot of people leave at the evening time. At the evening time, it is too treacherous and too dangerous unless DVI or Sheriff's Department gets a lead that they need us to go help assist on. Too dangerous for us to keep our guys up in these mountains in this treacherous terrain at nighttime. But I want you guys to know and rest assured, along with the community, that search efforts do not stop when it gets dark. We have been utilizing fixed wing and aerial aviation to literally scan this area from the time it gets dark to the time that we return in the morning. It does not quit. They utilize multiple resources, FLIR, and other things to continually map this area and to continue to search for some of us.
This is a question more for Sheriff Hawkins, or Paulson, I'm sorry. I know we talked a lot about there's two different operations going on, Fine Summer as well as the investigation. So more on the investigation side, you can tell us into anything that you've talked with family members or anyone who last saw or who last heard on Friday.
We've interviewed so many people in the community on the road, and we're still jointly working with TBI and the FBI, and everything is really going real well. We cover each other's tracks, go back for interview, and like Captain said, Wesley, we're not going to stop to find something.
How is our family doing? I mean, this is going into day 7. Tomorrow, day 7 seems to come promising, and it'll be after the conference. How's our family holding up?
We've spoken with their parents. I can't speak for them. They spoke with you. They're being cooperative. Of course, they're upset. So we continue to keep them updated and do whatever possible we can to find Summer. And we just ask everyone in the community, especially those of you who have any tidbit of information that you haven't shared, to please come forward. Her family asks that as well.
And then you also talk a little bit about speculation and social media rumors. Has that continued to get worse over the weekend, and has that continued to even cause hindrances?
Sure, it's always a battle. We ask residents with credible information to call 1-800-TBI-FIND and submit tips through that avenue. We find that we're receiving a lot of tips that is a screenshot from Facebook. It's an opinion or speculation. That's not a credible tip, and it just bogs down the system, as I've mentioned before. So please only share credible information. Someone's opinion or idea on Facebook is not a credible tip. Did you have a question? Okay.
Has the family been ruled out? I know they said that they understood you investigating and interviewing them. Have they been ruled out this time or still?
As we've said time and time again, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance are very much under investigation. And at this time, we continue to explore all possibilities. Okay, thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate the continuing coverage. We appreciate the community and all their support. And again, I can't stress enough, anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Thank you.
All right, guys. Sorry, that was a crappy copy of that. So again, June 15th, she went missing. Okay, 22 months ago. This June's going to be 2 full years. Again, this is why we're revisiting this from the beginning. Welcome, Miss Pamela. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here. So, here's the scenario.
Breaking news now. Officials are holding a media briefing about the Amber Alert we just told you about for the missing 5-year-old. Her name is Summer Wells. Let's go on now to live coverage.
Okay, I just scared the living hell out of myself with that. It was loaded and ready to go, and I forgot, and there it went. It's like that. So anyway, sorry guys. This is right. This is when they put the actual Amber Alert out on her via the news down in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Well, it wasn't Hawkins County, but that's where they broadcast to. She's from Hawkins County, Tennessee, for those of you who don't know.
Investigation by 19 different agencies. Last night, we had approximately 60 to 80 people searching in the woods, with a number of law enforcement officers doing the investigation also. Today, we've had over 100 people in the woods searching throughout the whole region. We also have CBI and the FBI in my office. We jointly investigate this whole circumstance. Our main goal is to find Summer, find her safe. We have plenty of help. We don't need any assistance from the local people. We have the professional people out searching, and we just appreciate everybody, their contributions. It's been a tremendous outpour from the community with the water, the food, and the snacks. It's just overwhelming, and it's a very intense investigation. I know the public needs to know things, but it's ongoing, and we will release things as we can when we can. Our main goal right now is to find.
Welcome, Larry. Good to see you. Just so you know, real quick, we're revisiting a case we worked a year ago or so. The Summer Wells case, if you're not familiar with it, we're just at the beginning of what we're doing with it. And we're revisiting the case from the very beginning all the way up to the point where we're at right now, Larry. So thank you for joining us. If you're not familiar with it, you'll catch up real quick.
Summer.
Okay, a couple of questions, but keep in mind we can't discuss specifics of the investigation.
Absolutely. It's very dense. The terrain is tremendously hard. We have virtually no cell phone.
All right, well, we already heard that. Again, thank you, Heather. Again, guys, just so you guys know, this channel is 100% crowdfunded, which is what keeps me going, guys. So anybody that would feel generous enough to want to consider supporting the channel to keep me going, anything and everything is appreciated via Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. The links are all there. If you can't do it, no worries, guys. I love you regardless. Just saying, this is how I keep things going. So thank you so very much for anybody that does. Moving on.
Service. The radio system we use, which is not that good, we have very little radio communication. We do have several command posts setting up, but what makes it so hard is the communication between the boots on the ground, searching the woods, and the different agencies and officers, and it's very hard to communicate. We're not like the Ecom Center dispatch has done an excellent job. TBI has their command post. It should arrive soon, and we're going to continue on until we
Very
find
true, Sherry. Very true.
But this case, rest. The family are cooperating, and it's really too early to tell. We're still just basically just gathering information, and we're in the search mode right now.
Sure. After the initial search and as we developed more information as part of the investigation, our team made the decision to elevate the alert to an amber. An endangered child alert is a mid-level alert where a child could potentially be in danger. An amber alert is, we issue those when we believe a child is in imminent danger of bodily harm or death, and it's the most severe alert.
It appears to me that she walked away from the home. Why would it ever enter the camera?
Well, the bottom line is we don't know where she is at this time. Again, there was the initial search. We acted and the sheriff's office acted on the information available at the time. And as we learned more in the first several hours into today, it led us to issue an amber alert.
Well, when the amber alert was issued, you said there was new information that led you to believe that someone might be more dangerous. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I can't. That's part of the investigation.
Thank you so very much, Vicky. I love you to death.
If they see something or know something, they need to tell somebody. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't want to get involved. They want to reply to us or respond anonymously. That's fine. As long as we find Summer, that's the main thing right now. And we're talking about the Amber Alert. When they raise that up another level, that helps more people paying more attention. You get more clues, you get more calls, and then everybody can call that 1-800-TBI find, and it all goes into a database, which helps us in an area where we don't have a lot of communication anyway. So TBI helps us with that. Well, we have an excellent relationship working together, and just like this case stems outside of Hawkins County, then you have the TBI to help with that. But if it expands on out past the state of Tennessee, then you got the FBI. So we're all on the same page, and we just keep on.
I do have one, Sylvia.
All have the same goal. Let's find Summer.
I agree with you, Molly. He does me too. He always has.
Well, the train stuff is like you see here. This is what people are searching in. But if they seen something yesterday evening or afternoon that we need to know, that's when they need to make the call or come by the command post. Just around Ben Hill Road in that area. That's the main. She's 5 years old and she left the house, and evidently she got a little farther than they expected.
Do you have any idea how much territory your volunteers and searchers are covering?
A lot. We have so many out there that they've broadened the scope. Plus, we've been able to utilize aircraft. GHP's been wonderful with their helicopter and the medical helicopters with GHP's FLIR at night, and they've been flying today. And it's just outstanding how the community's come to help us, plus all the different resource agencies and the rescue squads and EMSs and all the law enforcement. And we just hope that we have a great result when we find in the summer.
At this time, we're following up on any and all leads. Again, thank you for being here. We encourage the public to call in any credible information to 1-800-TPI-FINE, and we continue to hold out hope for the best possible outcome. Thank you.
All right, you just heard.
Okay. Now, that was right after she went missing. Okay. I've told you already, and I'm going to continuously say it. I am not a fan of Ronnie Lawson. I will never be. I don't like the way he handled these things. I'm over it. So, one moment, guys. I got to grab something real fast.
Hey, Kiki. Good to see you, hon.
All right. Welcome, Kiki. Good to see you. Hope your husband's doing great. Good to have you here. Kiki, we are revisiting the Summer Wells case, going back to the beginning and bringing it all the way up to right here where we're at today. So here's the deal, folks, for those of you that, again, aren't familiar with this. This child went missing on June 15th. Her parents believe what they said. Her parents said that they believe that, thank you, Heather, that they think that she was abducted from the house, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to let you listen to it. This is what happened that day. They got up in the morning. Now, they all live at 110 Ben Hill Road, Hawkins County, Tennessee is their address. Up on a hill. Dawn and Candace are the parents. They have 3 little boys and Summer in this house with them, okay? I understand, Kiki. So they're Candace's mother. Her name is Grandis. She goes by because her name is Candace, just like, I don't even want to get into it. But anyway, so she lives in a camper 5-10 feet from the back door to the property, okay? They got up that morning supposedly and decided that they had to go to the hospital because Grandis had a knee problem she needed to have checked out. The truth being, they were pill seeking because these people have, as you'll see, issues with taking pills. And I'm not holding anything back at this point, guys. It's been almost 2 years. You're getting it all. 100% on how I feel. People don't like it, then I'm sorry. This case burns me up, and it always has. So they were pill seeking. They went to the emergency room to get her knee wrapped or something like that. Whatever. They dropped her off, the grandmother off at the emergency room, and then they took off. And according to the original story, they went to a swimming hole. They picked up a friend of the friend of the family's child. His name is Hunter. And they all went to this little swimming hole area to go swimming. None of this makes any sense. Okay. But anyway, as Jules just said, supposedly they went swimming. They stopped at a store here or there, grabbed some alcohol and some of the THC. What are those pen things called?
Vape stick.
Vape sticks. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. And mind you, the kid that they picked up was a 15-year-old boy. They had him, Candace, and Summer, as grandma was at the emergency room, supposedly still. Vape pens, thank you. So they go to the swimming hole. Supposedly Summer goes swimming in this. Now, mind you, this little girl, I think she weighed 45 pounds. Tiny little girl, okay? They're swimming in, it's a horse, the swimming hole they're swimming in is a horse watering hole. They take horses down there to drink water out of there, okay? And the rocks are all slippery and jagged up on the side. Okay, so anyway. So the 15-year-old boy and the mother are over in the woods drinking, I think it's called, what is that tea called?
Long Island?
No, it's like in the yellow cans, something tea. it's alcohol. Okay. He's 15. She's 30, whatever she is. 30 ugly, twisted tea. Thank you, Jules. And so she buys him one for him to drink at 15 years old. So this is already giving you a picture of the type of people that these people are. Again, I don't care if they hear me. So instead of watching her daughter in this swimming area, she has this kid drinking this tea. She bought him a vape pen as well, from what I understand. And they're just having a good old time while this tiny little girl is swimming. And according to Hunter, she went underwater multiple times. Okay. She's tiny. She probably can't get good footing because the rocks are all slimy or whatever it is, so on and so forth. And then see, this is where the story had changed, because initially that's how the story was told. Then the story was that they dropped Grandis off at the emergency room. Then they went over and picked Hunter up while she was at the emergency room. She called, said she was done. They took Hunter and grabbed Grandis, and then they went through the pharmacy at Walgreens, got the prescription. Then they went to the swimming hole with Grandis, okay? So take which story you want. Now, the little girl's trying to swim. The water's up to here on her. Mind you, I checked everything. I've checked everything with this. The water was 70 to 71 degrees that day. She weighs 40 to 45 pounds. She's a tiny, tiny little girl, okay? So first of all, she's probably freezing. Second of all, she can't keep her head above the water. She keeps going under it while they're over there playing touchy-feely or whatever they were doing, drinking and whatever is it, they're not supposed to be doing. So he said he noticed her going under once or twice. He goes in the water and to check on, to help her come back out of the water, whatever. We don't know how true any of this is. This is all, every bit of this is alleged and speculative, okay? And then they bring her out of the water. Grandis wants to go home because her knee is hurting her. And I think she wanted to take a nap because she was tired. So they head back to the house. They drop Hunter off before they head home. Okay. Dago said it. What did I say?
Touchy-feely, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm being honest, guys. I told you guys I'm not holding anything back. This case makes me sick. So they drop him off at home, and Hunter's mother is who was friends with Candace initially. Okay. She supposedly was going to go to the truck, but didn't because Candace didn't want her to for some reason, because said Summer was sleeping. They had stopped at a couple stores before they dropped him off, picked up some milk, I think, and they went to a Sonic. And first of all, this child did not eat all day. Okay. They go to a Sonic and they get slushies instead of food, which makes her even colder. Welcome, Al Chape. Good to see you. So once again, so Hunter's mother never saw her in the actual vehicle, like face to face saw her. So moving on, they drive home after dropping Hunter off. Supposedly Grandis goes to her trailer, and Summer and her mother, Candace, go over, and Candace said they were planting flowers. They were moving cactuses around in dirt. They weren't planting any flowers. There was no flowers. Not that they could survive on that property anyway, and she said that Summer wanted a piece of candy, so she gave her one of those little spearmint things, whatever you want to call it. And then she sent Summer over to the house and told the other three boys to watch her because she had to wrap Grandis's knee. This is where things turn into lies, according to me, from what I understand. She just came from an emergency room, picking up her medication and having her knee wrapped. There's no reason that Candace needed to rewrap it. She has no idea what she's doing anyway. So why that was not true as far as I'm concerned. And then she said that she took 2 minutes to go over and wrap her mother's knee. And then her mother went in to take a nap. And then she came back over and said, "Hey, where's Summer?" I'm going to show you the house too, folks. Everything. You're going to see it all. "Where's Summer?" And the boy said, "She went downstairs to play with her toys, Mom." Candace said that she yelled for Summer twice or 3 times, never responded, so she went and looked for her. There's no Summer in the house. And when you guys see this basement, this house, it's gonna blow your mind. But So she starts looking for her child, supposedly goes off doing this, doing that, yelling for her here. No child. Okay. Then supposedly there's a scream that's heard by one of the neighbors, blood curdling, monstrous sounding scream. Then they all start looking for her. And then we're going to get into the rest of that down the road here. But I got to show you some other things first. Okay. This is supposedly how this happened. Anybody that's been following this case knows that that's not what happened. Okay. She didn't go swimming, Nikki. She stayed in the truck the entire time they were at the swimming hole, supposedly. Again, there's a lot of lies involved in this. Again, thank you for that, Heather. I kind of wonder if they let her drink some of the tea and it was tipsy, ended up drowning from the water she sucked in. Thank you, Jules. It wouldn't surprise me if they let them drink because it's cute and funny. Another point. I have two main theories on this, okay? Two main theories on what happened with this. I listened to everybody's theories, opinions, and thoughts on this, but I have two that I'm stuck with that are not going to change no matter what, unless somebody shows me proof. But that's a very, very, very good possibility, Jules. I agree with you. Welcome, Miss Michelle. Thanks so much for joining us today. 32 lovely, beautiful people in here, guys. Please hit that like button on your way in the door. I appreciate you guys so very much for this. So, again, this is where we're at with this. Now, let me get to my downloads and pull this up again. I have so much to look at, guys. Just bear with me for the time that it takes to do this. You stop talking because we're done talking to you. There you go. Okay.
Hey, Donna. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, very, very possible. So, all right, let me find this. Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay. Now, this picture here, and I have taken pieces and parts of things over the years from different areas, so I'll let you guys know when we get to this. Now, this picture I'm going to show you, this was supposedly right after the swimming hole, okay? And I'll explain
YouTube,
why
in today's
it
video,
looks like it does. One moment here. Okay. This is, it's just odd. I'll be honest with you. And again, guys, I drew my own conclusion from this picture. Welcome, Donna. Good to see you, dear. Being ex-firefighter, medic, I've seen different things. My mother's a nurse. She's seen different things. She agreed with me. Multiple medically based people have looked at this and said kind of the same scenario, and we're gonna talk about why. Okay, one moment here. Let me get this up. This picture, I got this last year via Aaron Mullins, is another creator. Thank you, Aaron, for putting this up. Very much appreciated. All right, so this picture is in between the swimming hole and 110 Ben Hill Road when they were heading home. Okay. It's great to see you, Donna. Thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate you so very much. We do miss you too, by the way. All right. This is Summer supposedly asleep in the backseat of the truck, okay? All right, here we go. So this one doesn't show. Well, let me move that for you guys. That's not important right now anyway. Let's move that. All right, here we go. Boom. Okay. So this is her sleeping. They stopped at a store, dropped Hunter off. After they stopped at the store, they had Hunter with them when they went into a couple different stores. Again, they went to the THC store, the grocery store, grabbed 2 gallons of milk. She's propped up on him. Supposedly, in this picture, Hunter's over here. Again, we don't know what the truth is, okay? It's very hard to see here, but they said she was sleeping. I examined this specific picture and analyzed this specific picture at least 700 times. I flipped it, folded it, flung it, whatever you want to call it, to look at it. If I could get it clearer, I would. I had another version of this that was clear, and I lost it. Now, looking at this picture, you guys, this is, again, remember, we're in Tennessee. It's 97 degrees, probably with 100% humidity in the middle of June. She's wearing all these clothes. This is pants, like a sweatpant type pants, maybe something like that, leggings maybe. She's got on her, I think, her bathing suit underneath this. I'm not sure if they took her out of it or not, or a t-shirt, if nothing else, and a long sleeve jacket, okay? And they're in the truck. She's leaning on these 2 gallons of milk and supposedly sleeping. Now, one of the partial theories I have was the whole dry drowning situation. That because she kept going up and down in the water, that she swallowed a lot of water. Being so small, it was too much. Okay, so at this point, that she's possibly in the pretenses of dry drowning right now. Okay, which could be why she's falling asleep. Now, looking at her fingernails again, I'm sorry I can't clean this up, and I will find a better picture to show you one other time. Again, at another time, I probably was what I'm saying. You look around the nail beds. I noticed this almost instantly when I first saw this picture, however many months ago. Looking around her nail beds, they're purple. Okay. Now, that's indicative of your hands not having oxygen, bad circulation, typically. All around this nail bed here is purple. Okay. When I blew this picture up and I put a different color behind it, as a filter, like a yellow or a blue, I think, or no, it was a yellow or red we did it with. She's got bluing around her mouth around here as well, guys, okay? One of the theories was that she had swallowed so much water, they weren't paying attention to her, being the ignorant people that they are, and as little as she is, she couldn't bring it out as much out as she should have. As kids will go underwater, they swallow it, they cough it out, but she didn't get it all out. That's what happens when dry drowning takes effect, okay? And like I said, she's tiny, folks, tiny. Not to mention her core temperature dropped, which makes her weaker being in that water. Her body's weaker, in turn, not enough strength to push that out, okay? So in effect, her body is at this point is either grabbing and reaching for every bit of oxygen it can find to breathe, which is in turn why the nail beds are purpling and so is her mouth. Or it has been said that she was already deceased in this picture. That's a very grand possibility too. And that the picture was taken as a mode of protection to say she was alive at this time and here she is. Again, I could go with either one of those situations, okay? Because they both make sense to me. That either the dry drowning was in effect or she actually already did, because it's been said from day one that the 15-year-old kid, Hunter, knows something more than what he has said in the interview that I'm going to show you. I can't believe that he didn't know more than what he said. And in turn, things have gotten weird with him over this period of time. So we don't know for a fact, because this is all, once again, alleged. But if you look at her nail beds and that bluing around her mouth, it's hard to see unless you put a filter behind it. That says that her body is reaching, searching, and sucking for any bit of oxygen it can find. So that, again, is indicative of either dry drowning or she's already drowned. Okay? Now, there was also talk in this picture, and there's a lot of hypotheses that were put out, theories, rabbit holes, whatever you want to say, that one of the reasons that she's leaning on this is that she slipped on those rocks and hit her head. And it caused this, okay? And again, the bluing on the fingernails would mean that she's deceased at this point because she hit her head and it caused a brain contusion and a bleed that unalived her, okay? That's very possible. Because people were saying that there was bruising here, so on and so forth. These pictures are hard to see all that in, okay? But these are other people's theories, and I'm just giving you the speculation that has been done about this type of stuff. This is all alleged, as I said. So we don't know for a fact at this point what's going on. But I'm letting you know that from what I can see, there's bluing on her nail beds. Every single one of them. People said it's dirt. There's dirt, yes. There's also a discoloration in her nail beds that if you wrap a rubber band around your arm right here and tighten it up as tight as you can, watch your fingernails, what happens to them. That means there's no circulation, guys. Something causes that. Okay. And if you got water in your lungs and you're reaching, does anybody that has any breathing problems, asthmatics, whatever, you know what it's like to reach to try to breathe. That's what's going on. She's a child, does not understand, and at point could be so tired out from this and weakened from this. That's why she's sleeping. Or again, she's already deceased, folks. Sad. I hate saying that. I really do. I'm just giving you the speculative theories that have been put out there. So, okay, now, one moment here. Trying to get to a point where, all right. I wish this picture would show. Is this the one that shows? Hold on, folks. And there, a lot of people said, well, look at her face, this, that, and everything else. Okay, here we go. There was supposedly some more sort of a stain here that somebody said looked like some sort of fluid or blood. I never saw that, but it's not showing what I wanted to show. I had multiple pictures of this when I found it. 1 second. Okay, you still can't see it very well. If you look right up in here, you see the discoloration in the nails?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying. Okay, yes, there was some dirt there too, but it's more the discoloration. It's hard to see in some senses. I had a way better picture that showed, see, these are all blurry. And it was also another speculative theory that was brought out was this bottle right here. It was asked, what is that? I mean, there were so many things, and I try not to fall into that hole with these. Somebody said that there's very well could have had alcohol in it and that she drank it and so on and so forth. I don't go with that ever, so I never have. Just saying. Giving you guys all the different options. 1 second here. Well, maybe that one. You can't really, it's hard to see it because it's kind of blurry. If I could get a 4K picture on it, it would be perfect, but anywho, that is when that picture took place, just so you guys know. Okay. And that was in between the water hole and going home, supposedly. So backing off of that, Jules said, one moment. I don't even see this as a summertime photo. Right. That has been said too. Thank you, Jules. That this was a photograph that was taken at a different time, and they tried to say that this was taken that day. I could actually, I could go with that a lot, okay? Because of the pants and the jacket and all that other stuff. They said she was cold. I can gather that she was cold, but if you put, now, because my other theory, guys, I'll be honest with you, is that because the mother was drinking and smoking what she was, and take this for what it is, Jules, because she was cold, then they buy her a slushie at Sonic, which means her core temperature drops even more, okay, at 40 pounds. So, not that I've seen yet, Jules. So they put this long sleeve outfit on her to warm her up, this, that, and everything else. She falls asleep. Mind you, Candace was smoking THC, whatever she was smoking in that vape pen, drinking alcohol, blah, blah. I felt like she very well could have went home. Summer's still sleeping, and went in the house and laid down to take a nap because she was kind of zonked, and left Summer in the truck sleeping, thinking that, you know, she'll wake up, or not thinking because she doesn't. Woke up and could not find Summer, and goes out to find her, opens the truck and realizes Summer's still in the truck, tries to wake her up, and realizes she's not waking up. And that's where the scream was heard. And then the door slam. And then she gets in the truck and takes off, calling Dawn, because that's another thing we're going to get into, is that she had to call her husband before she did anything in her life. Not the cops, nothing. She had to call Dawn to get what he said to do. Okay. And that's what I think very well happened in that sense. Okay. And she died from heat exhaustion because she was overheated sleeping in that truck. She was already weakened because she was cold. Body temperature will do that to you. And here we are. So that's my other theory on it. And she realized, because there was already an appointment you guys set up for Children's Services or CSB, CPS, whatever you guys call them, to show up at their house the very next day, because there were, and you're about to see why, there were some things going on in that household that needed to be investigated by CPS. So the parents, knowing that CPS is already coming, they're Welcome, Life, Love, and True Crime, and Willow. The parents, knowing that CPS is already coming and there's a case opened on them, if something happens to this child, they panic because they know they're going to go to jail. They're going to get child endangerment, child neglect, all this other stuff. So, and they're not very intelligent people, understand that too, by any means at all. And so she calls Don, and he leaves his job site and says, leave now and meet me. They meet up halfway in between Jonesboro, where he was. She hands Summer off to him, and he goes and does what he does. She heads back, says she went out looking for her. This is my theory on that side of things. I have two working theories, and both of them work in my mind for me. Okay? Either she was already deceased from the dry drowning, or she drowned, or she hit her head or something, and that happened that way, or Candace went in the house, fell asleep for hours, came back out, Summer had fallen asleep and never woke up. And that's the only thing I can pray, if she is deceased, is that that's how she went, because it would be peaceful with no pain.
Hey, check your email. I sent you a couple pictures. I don't know if they'll be any better or not.
What'd you say, Mama Bear?
Said check your email. I sent you a couple pictures. I don't know if they would be any better or not.
Oh, okay. Thank you. One moment. I will do that. Anyway, that's where we're at thus far with this scenario. Great to have you here, Willow. And I definitely feel like Candace, because Candace left shortly after that point. The timeline we're going to get into doesn't make any sense either, okay? But I think that Don told her, because he had to have total control of every situation, bring her to me now and I'll meet you such and such. And that's what happened. And she handed him off to she handed her off to him. Sorry. I told you this case gets me all riled up, so I got to slow down. Regardless of what went on, I do still believe that definitely happened still. Okay. Because I feel like Don was not involved in what happened initially to her, but does know, because he finished it off, in my opinion. Okay. So let me pull up this picture that you sent me real quick and see if that makes it any better for you guys. One moment here. If we can get there. Oh, here we go.
There's two of them.
Yes, ma'am, there is. All right, let's see what we got here. Open Sesame. Open. Thank you. It's probably going to blur out the more I blow it up. So that one, no, not really. But thank you very much. All right, let's see. Jules is saying, did they show his GPS stuff to show him going back and forth? No, they did, because his GPS, for whatever reason, in the little red car he was driving, was disconnected conveniently. Believe me, I looked into that too. Conveniently disconnected. So no. Did show the cops was there, or did they show him going back and forth? Didn't he show up before the cops and was there when the cops got there? See, there was two stories to that, Jules. One was that he showed up before the cops got there and was there beforehand. The other was that he showed up after the cops. I feel, I don't think so, Jules. I feel that, like I said, he left his job earlier than he said he did, met up with her and took Summer and went and did whatever he did with her. And I'll just be honest with you guys, because he was in drywall and construction and stuff like that and was working on multiple job sites. I think there's a very big possibility he went back to Jonesboro, Jonestown, either way. And I think that child's either in a well, under concrete, or in a wall somewhere. That's where I think she is. Okay? That's just me, though. Anyone know what Dawn meant about we just got Summer back? Because they had already, there was already a scenario that had happened, Donna. If you remember, we covered that. I think you were in here. We covered that months and months ago. Was I don't know, Jules. There should be way more of a definite answer and stuff like that. That's one of the biggest problems I have with this case. Like really fast, right? I know. Yeah, he was very quick. Said he drove 100 miles an hour the whole way. Got there within a quarter of the time that it should have taken. It was a 2-hour drive. Blah blah blah. Yeah, something was wrong with that. Okay, never did I believe that ever. Sylvia, these people are monsters, as you're about to see. I'm showing you I'm going to show you the interview of the parents. It's disgusting to watch these two. And a lot of you guys, I've shown you guys that didn't know it, and those of you that do know it, body language. Body language in this interview is so important. It tells its own story altogether, okay? I feel, Willow, that Dawn did love her. Maybe not in a very healthy way either, but I think the mother was jealous in a sense of her, because Dawn paid her more attention. You can take it for what you want to take it for. I'm just saying. Again, thank you for those emails, Mama Bear. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let me get to this point, guys. Where's it at? Load up. Load up. Okay. Here we go. And then I'm going to show you an interview with Grandis. Okay. We're going to skip through this for the most part. That way it doesn't take forever. Now, this is the full interview from WJHL, Channel 11 in Tennessee. Watch both of them. Watch the questions and watch how they react to the questions, okay? Ronnie Lawson never did check the house with luminol. No, he didn't, to see if there was any blood anywhere. They can't now because they've completely renovated the house. From what I showed you, or what I'm gonna show you, it's different now altogether. They were forced to do something because within a month, the boys were taken out of the home by CSB with not even a full month, I don't believe, after this happened. So, all right, here we go.
Like Molly said, he loved her too much.
Yes. Unhealthily. Very unhealthy. Weird. And I got some other details about that type of a thing I'm going to give you here that were proven too. That came out of the man's mouth. It's disgusting. So, one moment. You're going to have way more than the basics by the time I'm done, Sylvia. You'll be just as schooled on this as we are. Okay. Again, guys, I do this every damn time. I don't think, or I think too much. One of the two, or both. Who knows? Anyway, okay. Thank you, Cece. Yeah, if anybody wants to email anything to me, especially in regards to this, feel free. There is the email address right there. 100%, Jules. 100%. I can absolutely see that. And I've talked about that before, too. That she just allowed something to happen and said, oh, oops. It was an accident. So anyway. All right. Again, let me know how the audio is.
I know she didn't walk away from this property
This is the full interview with mom and dad.
by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said she went downstairs, mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes and even the coyotes that are around here. Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. And if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it. I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control. So we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head to so she wouldn't feel bad, and but it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way. Just thankful for the person or persons that's doing that, out of love, and trying to get information and trying to get her found. We thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
That means a lot.
And we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And she's an awesome young lady, and we just want her back.
Okay, the first thing I want to point out is obviously she's zooted on something, okay? And again, it was very well known and is very well known that these people love their pills and their drugs, okay? Period. She's out of it on something, as you can tell by the slowness of her mechanical reactions to things, so on and so forth. And listen to how they're talking about her. They've already, at this point, this was very shortly after she went missing. They've already got her in a past tense when they're talking about her. She's gone in their minds. Okay, so they know, in my opinion, that this child is no longer alive, which is why they're talking. So if you listen to how they're saying these things, she used to. In their minds, for whatever reason, they know she's gone. Okay? And watch the body language. When Dawn says certain things, watch how Candace reacts to him.
There's always going to be haters, and it's always going to be that way in this world. And we just want to focus on the good friends and Christian people that are trying to help us and praying for us and praying for Summer. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. And that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with. So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. Because we just try to be around good people. And we do have good people in this area. We found out since this has all happened that we got some real good neighbors and good folks everywhere. But
the most important thing is to bring Summer home safe. I'm sorry that you feel this way about us, but we love our children with everything we have. We've never went without, thanks to Summer's daddy, my husband. He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around, ever.
She loves to dance. She would always want me. She says, "Daddy, hold my hand," so like twirl. And she would just like to twirl till my arm got tired, And I put out there that one of Summer's favorite songs was Godzilla, and they say, you know, and they're jumping all over me about past tense was, you know, well, I'm sorry about that. It's just,
She also liked the song by New Breed. It was called House, My House. She sung that a lot of times when I played it on the TV. She loved to dance.
You hear how they keep talking about her in the past tense? And they were even told him about him talking that way. And they still continue to do it. And yeah, look at her face.
she liked to think of herself as a princess, and, you know, and all that like all young girls do. You know.
She loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa.
And I think she really loved to be in church because she felt a lot of love there. And I think you can't explain.
And she did love to be in church because she never got any attention from these guys. She got all her attention when she would go to church. She was very attached to a woman that is from the church named Robin because she paid attention to her. They didn't. They ignored her because they were too busy drinking and drugging and doing whatever else they were doing. Again, here we are. And that's true, Donna. She never got any positivity from her mother. Regardless of what she's saying right here, she didn't. And that was already talked about and proven.
Explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, you know, when you're young. And she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church. Or she loves everybody in that church. I should rephrase that because they'll tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, you know, I hope she gets to be with her church family again.
Our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
She looked up women that were women that was professional. She looked up to those kind of women.
I mean, that's because look what she had to look to as parents.
They were how do you word I'm looking for? She'd give them a run for the money. She'd give them a run for the money. And there was times, you know, we'd be, you know, that our boys like, don't do this, don't do that. Next thing you know, the stick would come up, just whop them. You know, like, Summer, don't do that.
Summer was the boss of the family. She
was.
She'd put him in line.
She'd do her best.
She loved to play in the mud, in the water, and swing on a swing, and enjoy dirt.
When I run the lawnmower around, she would run behind me.
Everything they're saying, you guys, this entire interviews are memoirs of Summer. Memoirs of Summer. I'm sorry, Vicky, I'll fix it. That's what this entire interview is memoirs of Summer, because it's all past tense. Everything. No matter how many, I know what it is. I got it. As soon as I start it back up, it'll be okay, guys. My apologies. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, that's what this whole interview is all the memories they have of her as if she's gone, because they know she is. 100%.
When the boys run their bikes around, she, as fast as that little bike could go, she would be behind them running and keeping up with them, no problem. You know, she loved to run. She just loved to run. And she could pull herself up on that swing, her full body weight with her two hands. And she could do that. None of the other boys can do that, but she can.
Was she in school yet?
No, she's going this year.
This was supposed to be her first year.
She's been, we did all the, what?
I took care of everything.
Yeah.
I had her already taken all of her shots and registered in the school ready for this year.
I just never expected for anyone to get a hold of my heart like she has, because I try to guard my heart as much as I can, but she holds my heart in her little hands, and I love her with all my heart. I'd do anything to have her back. If there's any way, if you can find it in your heart, to please release her somehow. I don't know how you might do that. I mean, you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and you know, and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. That my biggest fear is, you know, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her, you know, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? You know, go get Summer now." You know, and that's happened over and over again.
And there's another problem. Okay, the boys are not her parents. The boys are not adults, and they're telling you right here in their own words that they relied on the boys to watch Summer. They're children themselves. It's not their responsibility to watch a 5-year-old child. It's yours. But you're too busy doing your partying and whatever you're not doing as a parent to do that. That one little thing, and that's to parent this child. Which tells me, with them saying that right there, okay, that when Candace says that she left for 2 minutes to go wrap her mother's knee and came back over and the child was gone, no. This has been done before, guys. He said, we just got Summer back. There was an instance before this, okay? It wasn't talked about that much because there was. And it's a bad thing, which is why there was a CPS case open. One of the reasons why there was a CPS case open. So, once again, look at this man's face. Not one tear on his eye. And Gargamel over here does not have one tear in her eye either. Okay? Not one. With the things they're saying out of each other's mouths right now, I would have been a damn blubbering mess. Okay? I caught that one a long time ago, Willow. A damn blubbering mess. They didn't drop one tear in this interview. Not one. Now, whether it's because she was too drugged out that she couldn't, that she had no emotion, regardless, I don't care. I've watched multiple interviews with parents that have lost their children, so on and so forth, and neither one of these two people look like they're even remotely upset. I'm sorry, but they don't, and it drove me nuts from the moment I watched this interview. Again, I'm sorry I interrupted.
And where we can get her back, and just please have mercy on her, and you know, and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. But my biggest fear is, you know, her being.
Now, did you guys see the reaction that Candace had when he said that? I'm going to show you this again. I want you to watch her face as soon as he's done saying that.
Let her come home. But she's my biggest fear.
Did you guys see it? Do it again. I think the cameraman saw it, which is why he did what he did.
Find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back, and just please have mercy on her, and you know, and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. But she's my biggest fear is.
Right there, in that point right there. And to me, that face was because she knows what he just said is never going to happen. Okay? Once again, watch it and watch her face when he says what he says.
Little hands. I love her with all my heart. I'd do anything to have her back. If there's any way you can find it in your heart to please release her somehow. I don't know how you might do that. I mean, because you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and you know, and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home.
She starts doing it right here. Okay? Now watch. And yeah, she was doing that real slow, Donna. You're right.
that she's, my biggest fear is.
Exactly, Vicky. Sorry, guys, I keep unmuting myself. But anyway, I'll let it go from here. I just wanted you guys to see that.
Being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And
that's happened over and over again, which means that her brothers are her babysitter. Her brothers are probably her parents because they weren't. Over and over again, that she's been left outside alone. She's been left here alone. She's been left there alone. That's not a caring parent. I'll be honest with you guys. My children were never outside by themselves until the age of like 12. Okay? Ever. I was with them, or my wife was with them, or a grandmother, or somebody was always with my kids outside, even in my yard. I don't care. Never by themselves. Period. I mean, and he said it right there. It happened. It keep happening over and over again. There's proof. Great parenting, Don.
we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And
she loved to be outside.
And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything. And I'm afraid that she won't be able to, locked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity.
Did you see that? Look at her. That was, I can't believe you just said that. Like,
right?
Watch.
Or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity. I just want to focus on the positive.
You're muted.
I know you guys saw that look.
Yep.
Like, what did you just say? And it's not because she doesn't want to believe it. It's because, what did you just do? That's that look.
Yep.
Stupid people.
Because it's so easy to get, lost in that negativity and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So I'm just, I appreciate y'all, the good things you say, and your prayers. That's awesome.
When my sister went missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee.
Now, real quick, just so you guys don't get lost, she's got a younger sister by the name of Rose Bly. Her last name, her unmarried or maiden name is Bly. Okay, Candace Bly. She has a sister, Rose, that was way more attractive than her, younger, had a better life, all of these things that she did not care for. She was jealous of her, that came up missing. Surprise. Okay. And again, that's what she's getting ready to start talking about. So again, here we are, another, in my opinion, another person that this woman here was very possibly jealous of missing. Because Candace, Candace, you would go live after all of this, drunk and high, on her live streams, talking about things and acting ridiculous and just being who she is, showing her ugly self off, because she's ugly to me inside and out. And it's proof. She always wanted to be the center of attention, and she wasn't. Another reasoning behind this now, but this is what she's about to explain, her sister disappearing a little bit. Amazingly enough, another person that, just poof, gone. Interesting to me.
I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope.
Now, I don't know all of what happened, and then caught herself and said, or what happened. What do you mean? I caught these. I've watched these interviews. I don't know how many times, and you catch little things that they're saying that guilts them in a sense to me. Okay, so here we go again.
Oh, missing. I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I don't know all of what happened or what did happen.
I don't know all of what happened or what did happen. So you either know it or you don't know it, or you know all of it or you don't know any of it. Which one is it? She caught herself and corrected that when she realized what she said, but she's doped up on something. That's probably why she slipped and said what she said. Yes, her sister is 100% missing and has been for quite a long time, Willow. And that's a whole other story I can show you guys too with part of this. I'm going to.
But I hope that they find her too and bring her home safely too.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, she disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything, haven't found a body, nothing. And you know, when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. You know, I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope.
Lose it.
And I think, well, maybe we won't never see her again, you know. So I start thinking in past tense. Sorry, but I'm trying to keep hope.
That's the truth trying to come out of him is what that is. And it's hard for him to keep that in is what he's actually saying, just so you know.
Well, I'm trying to keep my prayers up and all that.
You're muted.
Her mother canvassed that they were.
Stop it. Anyway, that's the wonderful interview with Dawn and Candace, this child's wondrous parents. It's hard to watch that because it makes me really angry. But you guys see the things I'm pointing out to you that I caught. I'm sure most other people caught as well. Neither one of them are telling the truth, in my opinion, in that anywhere in that interview. Okay. The entire interview was nothing but past tense conversating about her. No matter how many times he tried to correct himself, he still did it. So that'll tell you a whole bunch. Okay. This sweet child is just, it kills me. It really does. So anyway, now I want to give you guys an interview with the grandmother.
A lot.
Okay, shut up, Candace.
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me.
Now, I'm going to talk on that just real quick here a little bit, okay? So, they swear up and down that in the period of time where Candace walked, the 2 minutes, she says, she walked to her mother's trailer, which was literally 8 to 10 feet from the door of the house, to rewrap her mother's knee. That was just wrapped at the hospital that she had no reason to do, but okay. That somebody went in their house, took that child, and left with her down that big hill, around all them dogs that didn't make one sound, and disappeared with her. Now, I tell stories sometimes, folks, for entertainment, but that's about the dumbest story I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry. They had, 7 or 8 dogs right there in the yard, okay? I'm going to show you a video of the house here in a minute, and I'll show you everything about it. There were 7 to 8 adult grown dogs tied up in that area right there that would have barked their brains out, as you'll see, when anybody, including people that they know, walk up there. But they didn't make a sound. Why is that? Because nobody walked up there and took that child. That's why. Okay? There's no way that they could have done that and snuck back down that hill, out into the road, jumped in the car, and took off in that period of time, in 2 minutes, without them dogs going nuts. Because it is unintelligible as this woman is, she would have still realized why are the dogs barking and looked over that way and seen something, but that didn't happen. So anyway, breathe, Joe, breathe. Right now, where is that video? Come on, come on, come on. Ah, here we go. Inside the Wells home. News Nation did this as well, did Chris McDonough. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He followed this case in the very beginning as well. Does anybody have any questions or anything at this point before we go forward? Anything at all? Again, guys, thank you for putting that up, CC. This channel, just letting you know, is 100% crowdfunded. If it's not for that, I don't exist. So there are the links, guys, for Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal if anybody wants to donate to support the channel. And thank you again. Wait till you see this house, Sylvia. That's all I got to say. News Nation did an interview. They went inside. They did an interview with Chris McDonough, who went inside with Candace to look at the house. For those of you that don't know, this is Chris McDonough. Yeah, I know, Donna. I know. That is Chris McDonough. Okay, he's got his own show, something Cold Case, and then there was another show. I can't even think of it right now. But anyway, he went in, interviewed everybody that was involved at some point, okay? But he went in the house, and I want to show you guys this house. First time I saw it, I couldn't believe it. Exactly, transporter. Exactly. All right, here we go. Again, let me know. I'm sorry, Sylvia. This sucks. It hurts me to watch and listen and think about all this too, but it has to be done. Like I said, it's been 22 months, and that's way too long. Something needs to be done with this. That's why we're bringing it back out, because it's already gone cold, in my opinion. They say it's not cold, but it is cold to me. So, Diamond Girl, welcome. Good to see you. Did you hear Dawn whisper to her, "Be careful, your mom is listening"? Yep, when she talks about Rose. Yes, yes, yes. And that's a whole other story that I was going to tell you guys, and I will tell you. The woman named Allie, I'm going to show you the interview that this gentleman here did with her. Allie is Hunter's mother, and so on and so forth. There was a lot of drinking involved. There was a point in time where that Allie, Grandis, Candace, and somebody else were drinking together, and it was Rose, Candace's sister's birthday. And Grandis was talking about missing her and this, oh, it's your sister's birthday and blah, 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 blah. And Candace, drunk, made a comment, said something about, like, stop talking about it. She ain't coming back and blah, 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 blah. And Grandis, the mother, said, how do you know? And she said, supposedly joking, she said, after it was brought up to her attention. She said, I know where she's at. I unalived her, blah, blah, blah. I don't doubt that at this point. I don't, just so you know. And I'll be giving it to you guys. I promise you, Vicky. That's just a quick to the point story about the sister, but I'll give you the whole story on her. So let me let me know how the audio is on this, folks.
Parents, Dawn and Candace, have been the target of threats, accusations
that they had something to do with Summer's disappearance. They have denied any involvement. They say that she was abducted. They have passed a polygraph test. At this point, the sheriff is saying anything's on the table. All
the polygraph test, Ronnie Lawson, the sheriff that nobody cares for, is the one that said that. That's never been proven. He just said that they both passed a polygraph test. That's all we know as far as that's concerned. Nobody's ever seen any proof of it. That was that. So just so you guys know, that came from him. By the way, for those of you that just jumped in, that Ronnie Lawson, the sheriff, is Dawn's cousin. Take that for what it is, too.
all people are persons of interest. But has the public jumped to conclusions too soon on these parents without the evidence to back this up?
Yeah, I think everybody is innocent until proven guilty for sure. And at this point, there are just, as your reporters, pointed out, Brian, that there's just too many moving parts here. There are a couple of theories that still, need to be nailed down. And obviously the authorities don't have those pieces yet.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the property, Chris. You spent some time there on the family's property. You went inside the house. You went into Summer's room, and you say that it encapsulated her. So I want to show some of this video for folks at home, and I want us to walk through exactly what you saw inside this home.
So this is Candace showing me essentially where the boys were sitting.
Okay, this is when you go in the back door to where she said that she sent her child into. I'll blow it up. Here, let me shut this out of the way for you guys again. I'm sorry. I'll blow it up for you guys the best you can see it there. So, anyway, this is the kitchen. The boys were supposedly sitting here at this table playing video games on this. Sitting here at this table playing video games on this TV. Okay, and Summer supposedly was downstairs, and wait till you see how Summer got downstairs, if she did. Hold on.
They were sitting right there at that table, looking at that TV, playing video games. Summer went down into the basement. She's pointing to this, table here that has basically a crawl space into it. And down into that crawl space goes down into the parents. And
so you walk around. Sorry for the echo again. So you walk around this counter. There's a hole under this counter. And under that, there's a set of stairs that goes to the basement, which is where the bedrooms were for the parents, the kids, and this child that is missing.
Summer's room. So I asked her if she'd take me down there. She did. And so we crawl through there.
So
now,
can I stop you real quick, Chris? Because so this is the only way to get to Summer's and the parents' room is through this crawl space.
Right. This is the way she said Summer went into that basement.
Why do they have it set up like that?
That is a great question. I don't have that answer.
Okay, continue.
So we get down there, and of course, this is Summer's room here that you're seeing. All of the items in the back corner belong to Summer. There's a mattress on the floor, the 2 bunk beds. The windows are secured with reflective type of materials. And so you can tell this is, it's pretty striking pretty quickly for a 5-year-old to.
And again, that's where that little girl slept on a queen size mattress in the corner of the basement, bugs, dirt, whatever. On the other corner are her brothers in some makeshift bunk bed setting in the same room. But 9 out of 10 times, the little girl didn't sleep in her bed. She slept in bed with those two, the parents. And he made it known that he didn't sleep with clothes on.
Ew.
I have a monstrous problem with that. Okay. Moving on. Moving on. Sorry again, guys.
Be in this environment.
Chris, the other 3 boys, Summer's brothers, were removed from the home, taken into protective custody. Are they key to understanding anything in this case and her disappearance? Is there a chance that they are able to shine some light on what may have happened?
From my opinion as retired investigator, they would be, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in terms of the parents and their past, that has also been something that is much talked about. Candace filed for an order of protection against her husband, Don, saying that she was afraid of being hurt. She was afraid for those kids. That was likely part of why they were removed from the home. How do investigators take that information and also anything the kids might know and try to piece this puzzle together?
Yeah, Marty, that's a great question. So, with a 5-year-old child, obviously time is of the essence. So The first officer on the scene quickly wants to assess, who had last contact, what were those conditions in relationship to that contact, how much time has elapsed before the last person saw the child. And so immediately you want to start talking to the parents and you want to try to separate them. And as you go along, trying to get the information initially about the child, then the parent's background becomes significant in relationship to an investigative process as more resources are arriving on the scene.
Chris, police say that there was no evidence of foul play, yet they issued an Amber Alert. How can they be so sure?
Well, that's a great question. The investigative process is still, ongoing. It could be an accident. It could be, something, an intentional act of some sort. I think the investigators and heard Sheriff Lawson even say today that everything is still on the table.
You have been in contact with the parents, Don and Candace. Are you still in touch with them now?
Not currently, no.
What's the deal with this red truck? Potentially a piece of this puzzle. Have you heard anything about the truck? Has it led to any evidence or information for investigators?
Well, at this point, TBI has reported that the red truck, they want to try to contact that individual who may have been driving it. There is a witness who is really vague about whether it was around the area on the 14th or the 15th.
Welcome, Sammy. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. Anybody else that has jumped in since we got started, thank you for joining us again. There are 36 awesome people here, guys. Please leave some DNA on your way in the door on that like button. Share this out. And do not forget to leave me some comments at the end of this. I appreciate you guys so very much.
Before, I think what they want to do is just check the box to eliminate that truck. They have eliminated a lot of red trucks in that area.
How closely would investigators be looking at family and friends of both Candace and Don, this inner circle of people that they know, especially given the fact that Don has admitted that he had some wrong friends, or at least Candace did?
That would be significant. And you want to, again, you want to look at the abduction theory, and you have to think, how high of a risk would a subject who would want to, take a child, a 5-year-old, would that take? And in that terrain and coming up that hill with the information that Summer between 2 and 10-minute time frame was in that basement, the universe would have to be 100% on schedule for all those stars to align. So that's where you want to start, shifting your focus in relationship to, taking a look at the inner circle, who had access to that property and or who had access to the parents.
Chris, 5 months is a long time for this little girl to be missing. As more time goes by, how optimistic are you that this case is solvable, that we can find Summer and bring her home safely?
Well, I'm always optimistic. Typically though, that optimism starts to dwindle. However, I do believe this case will be solved. I think they have the correct resources on it with TBI, FBI, as well as the Hoxha County Sheriff's Department in the lead. And I, like you and the rest of the nation, are praying. I'm praying that they do find her alive.
I share in that prayer. It has our attention. It has the attention of a lot of people on social media, and those folks on social media are relentless, as are we. Chris.
Damn shame that everybody else, a real damn shame that everybody else was more positive than the parents were. It makes me sick. But anyway, so that is the inside of their house. Okay, which is, again, one other reason, if you saw, there's a better video where it goes close up. It's infested with cockroaches and other bugs. There was bed bugs, I was told. The house was just a mess. So that's why there was a CPS case starting with this already. And then this happened with her the day before they were set to show up. So moving on to where are we at here? 1 second, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that video or if it was another one where they showed, because I didn't see all of that one, but they showed where they had to go underneath the counter or something to get into
the basement. That's what they just did. That's what that video was. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the basement stairs. They built a countertop over top of the basement stairs.
Yeah.
And nobody understood that. They've had to change all that out since, trying to get their other kids back, which I hope they never do. I get it, Kiki. I get it. That was from last year that I had that, so I was just showing that Chris was the one that had gone into the house, so on and so forth. But I get it 100%, hon. I'm not a fan either. So, I have some things that are newer. I'm trying to get you guys all at the point that from the beginning on to this point. So, next interview I have is with the grandmother, Grandis. Okay. And you got it. Once again, I need you to listen to the things she says while she's talking. This is Candace's mother. She goes by Grandis because her name is Candace as well. I've never heard of people Candace and Candace Jr. I mean, come on. Whatever. It's to each their own, I guess. I'm not going to judge any more than I already am. I think we all are going to feel like we need a shower after this, Nikki. I'll be honest with you. 100%, Sammy. 100%. Yeah. Again, let me know about the audio, folks. Okay. Make sure you got subtitles because you can't really understand because she sounds like she's got dog shit in her mouth when she talks, but it's whatever. Anyway. So, moving on. I have, as you guys can all tell, I have no respect for this family. I'm severely angry at this family. I probably shouldn't be, but I've put a lot of time and effort into this to know who these people are. I feel like I know them very well, and I do not like them, and I don't like the way that they did things. So that's why I have the angst towards them that I do, just out of curiosity for you guys.
Another story at 6, day 2, and a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells is now over.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said teams scaled previously identified points of interest in Hawkins County. The agency says much of the area where Summer disappeared requires extra time to search thoroughly. They say it's extremely steep and dangerous. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel spoke with Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, the lead investigator in the case.
Yeah, Ansley, the sheriff told you today that Summer's family now currently is not cooperating with law enforcement?
That's exactly right, Josh and Sarah. He also told me that the family has attorneys. Now, he did tell me that he didn't want to speak any further on the matter, but I did have the chance to speak with Summer Wells' mother and grandmother at the home where she disappeared earlier today. And her grandmother told me that she wanted to address the sheriff's comments about them not cooperating, as well as whether or not they have an attorney. And this was the first time that we have spoken with her on camera since her granddaughter went missing.
Mr. Lawson stated that Candace and the whole family is lawyered up. I can't speak for Donnie, and I know Candace hasn't because she's told me she hasn't, and I have not. If law enforcement wants to talk to me, TBI wants to talk to me, they have my phone number. They know when I leave the state. They know when I'm here.
Summer Wells' grandmother, Candace Hare, says she hasn't spoken with law enforcement since December 13th.
They have not contacted me since the YouTubers were down here in the driveway, and we asked him about trespassing.
Summer's grandma was with her granddaughter all day on June 15th, the day she disappeared. She walked me through what they did that day and said she and Summer were repotting cactus plants outside of her camper, and then
Summer came in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, "Mama, I want to go play with the boys." Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
As the 9-month mark of when her granddaughter was reported missing approaches, she says the social media and online rumors have to stop.
If they want to help, that's great. But if they want to spread lies, that's a different story. Because that's all they're doing now is spreading lies. They're reaching and trying to figure out what lie can we spread now. And I'm tired of it.
Yeah, that is the grandmother, Candace's mother. They call her Grandis. And there's another interview that I have. I can't find it, and I will, where she spoke a whole lot more about things that she actually believed. She made it seem like at some point that she didn't believe what Candace and Dawn told her happened to Summer because she was sleeping when all this went down. Again, take it for what it is. You guys make your own decisions. Lapo loud one toe. Sorry, had to laugh when she said something about the YouTubers and it's all right, Molly. You're fine, hon. So there is that. Now, moving on. moving on. This is the next interview, and they were taken. Dr. Phil, we all know who he is, asked Dawn and Candace to come on the show and talk about what's going on with Candace, with the baby, to try to help find her. Okay, so they do. Well, they tried to. Let's put it that way. And again, body language says everything. It speaks its own language and tells its own story, folks. I will let you all make your decision on this. Okay. Again, this footage is care of the Dr. Phil show. It is what it is. But it's important to see this for a reason. Are you still there, Mama Bear? No. Okay. I thought you had already left and came back. No worries. Okay. So listen close and watch Candace and Dawn. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I did it again. All right. Let's try this again.
Summer in the front door.
Yes.
And you said to the three boys, keep an eye on Summer.
Yes.
Okay. Then you did what?
Then I went back outside to my mom's camper, which was right next to the house, and I had to fix her knee brace for her.
Okay. She had a knee brace on?
Yeah.
And that took?
Only 2 minutes.
Now, I want to make something known. Okay. The interview that we watched with her and Dawn with the local news, she was definitely on some type of drug. She's not on this show because Dr. Phil had said he wanted them clean and clear to have the interviews with him that he did. So they are sober as could be, as you can tell from watching her face, which in turn means that if she's sober, the whatever she's thinking is not numb now. She has to be real now. Okay. So watch the difference.
Okay. And then what'd you do?
I went to my house.
When you back in,
The three boys watching.
okay. And no Summer?
No Summer.
Okay. What'd you do then?
I asked the boys where she was at, and they told me that she went downstairs to play with her toys.
Okay. Would she do that? Would she say, hey, I'm going downstairs to play with my toys, or would she just go?
No, she'd tell the boys.
What'd you do then?
Well, I hollered for her at first.
And no response.
No response.
So what'd you do?
So I went directly down there. I looked for her everywhere I could look, in the room, under the blankets, whatever, and she was gone.
All right. What's the way to get out of there besides coming back upstairs?
Just the basement door.
That back door?
Yeah.
Okay. And if that door opens, could the boys hear it?
No, if they had the TV up loud.
Okay. All right. Is she known to go out that back door?
She'll go out the back door, but then she'll circle around by her swing.
Okay. Back around to the front?
Yeah.
What we're seeing here is looking out that back door, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now there's a road there. Is that a
driveway?
A driveway? Okay. Now, can that be seen from your mother's camper?
No.
Welcome, Debbie, and thank you for your input. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for being with us.
That's the back side of the house. You can't see that from her camper.
Not that part, no.
If you step out on the road there, you can about see your camper.
And that drive there goes up to the highway?
It circles around the house right there.
Now, I'm going to show you, since we're showing this real quick. This door right here leads into the video we just watched where they showed the basement. Thank you so much, Heather, for that. I was going to ask for that. You must be reading my mind again. Okay, so this is the driveway that goes up around the house. Okay, comes down from the main road up here, up and around all this. It goes all the way around. The camper for Grandis is over here. Okay, over here, right there. Sorry, guys. And the back door to the house that she sent Summer in supposedly is back almost directly opposite where this door is, up here on this level, if that makes any sense. So the basement where I showed you the bed is laying on the floor. That Summer's bed is right here inside this wall, right there. Okay, on the floor. That door is right inside that basement. And they were trying to say that somebody walked in this door, grabbed Summer, and walked back out and took off. Now, we're still up on quite of a hill up here to get down to the main road through this right here. Not to mention, when this happened, there were dogs right here. Okay, that would have seen over this way just a little bit. There were 6 or 7 dogs over in this realm. There's puppies under the house right here in this hole. All these dogs are around here, okay? Didn't make a damn sound. So somebody walked in, grabbed her, and walked back out, and dogs didn't make a sound. Nobody saw, because if this is where she was just wrapping her mother's knee on this deck right here next to this camper. If somebody would have came down through this area up around, you just saw or heard noise. Summer would have yelled because that wasn't somebody she knew. Screamed and yelled. They would have heard and saw, and that's why I know it's bullshit. So, moving on.
It goes to the top, and then it goes down around to it. It circles all the way around the house.
Okay. Is that the back door?
That's the back door.
That's the door to her room.
Yes.
Okay. If she came out that back door and there was somebody there, could they have grabbed her right there?
Yes.
Then how would they make their escape?
And you hear how fast they answered. When Dr. Phil said, if she came out that door, if there was somebody there, could they have grabbed her? Yes. Like that. Didn't think about it, didn't nothing. Because pushing so
back this direction?
Well,
away from the camper?
The dogs the scent went straight down that dog trail by that yellow generator, right from where that picture's taken.
You're saying then that this is the back door?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying that there was a scent that went this direction?
Yes, all the way down to Ben Hill Road.
All the way where?
All the way down to Ben Hill Road.
Okay. Now, if this looks like a big circle, how do you get back to the highway?
So you go down the driveway to Ben Hill Road and then turn left, and it takes you up to Beach Creek area.
Away, they would have had to come on around the circle and exit here?
That's a possibility, but we think they were parked down on the Ben Hill Road.
Okay, so you think they would have walked on down through the woods to the road and left the car down at the road?
Yes. And that's what the dogs indicated. The scent went down to the road, and then somewhere on that road, the scent disappeared.
But how would they have known she was going to be there? Would they have gone inside the room to get her?
Possibility. I wasn't even aware the trail was there.
Okay.
That was a lie.
So your belief is this might be the last spot that Summer was on the property?
Yes, sir.
Right there. That she was put in a vehicle there and driven away.
Yep.
Do you have a story or a question for me?
All right, there's that. And there is another video. I thought this was the one, but it's not. My apologies. But anyway, it's of her on the show, and I will show it to you. She breaks down during questioning as Dr. Phil's questioning her and loses her grip, takes off her microphone, and runs off stage.
The Wells family lives across the street from a neighboring property.
Which is proof to me that she was lying. Now, the next video I'm showing you guys is the neighbor. Her name is Jody Sue, and she's going to describe what she heard, when she heard it, and how she heard it as things went on that day that Summer disappeared, okay, up there on top of the hill there. That's the next one. Sammy, there's a lot of theories that relate to that as well. But there's no way, as I just showed you guys, that somebody walked into that basement or stood outside that door and grabbed that child and got away that fast without the dogs alerting Candace or Grandis seeing it, unless that person was welcomed to take her and leave with her, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, old man is right. Here we go with this one. This is another person I'm not a fan of, by the way. I'm just being honest. And not because I think that she has anything particular to do with this. I just don't like the person she is. So, and a lot of what she says is lies, in my opinion. But again, we don't know, guys. And every bit of what we're talking about is purely speculative and all alleged because nobody knows the truth. That's the problem with this case. And again, guys, 37 people in here. You guys are amazing. Thank you so very much for that. Please hit the like button, share it out, and leave comments after the fact. Welcome back, Mama Bear. You didn't scare me. But we're moving on now. This is the interview with Jody Sue, the neighbor. God love it.
Oh, Jody Sue. Muted.
I do this every time that I try to share a video with you guys. I'm such a dingbat. Okay, let's try it again.
And
That's how Jody's friend was the very day Summer Wells went missing.
There was no TV, no noise at all.
Jody Stu was in her cabin with her teenage kids, 19 and 14, waiting for anything.
We were kind of hyper alert because of property things that had happened the day before. So we were listening for noise. Everything was kind of quiet.
The sale brought a plethora of people to their door, confused about which piece of land was for sale, leading to a dispute of property lines.
While we were out at one point doing survey lines, and there was a flash of a car that went up Candace and Donnie's driveway. Something about it struck me wrong.
She and her family next heard a truck door slamming and dismissed it as their neighbors. The next sound was harder to justify. About an hour and a half before Summer is thought to go missing, Jody Sue, her son, and her daughter heard something far more suspicious. A scream.
Stopped all three of us cold.
Her daughter was the first to go to the cabin door. Then all three were there listening still.
We heard just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Animalistic, but not an animal.
Knew it was, wrong. It wasn't a dog. It wasn't an animal.
That vigilance kicking into overdrive. Jody Sue and her son went out to look for the source of the scream.
My son and I decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank. Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids. Jody Sue headed down her driveway around 6 to tend to flowers.
And at this point, I start hearing Candace hollering for Summer. And then my brain immediately went, scream earlier, this, uh-oh.
Jody Sue was the first to hear those calls and the first to join the search for Summer.
I dropped my purse. I tried to yell up at Candace. I was like, I'm looking, and I started looking.
Jody Sue searched one side of a creek, the opposite side.
And you gave statements to the police, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Jody Sue had been interviewed many times by investigators, bringing up the scream often. But the sheriff doesn't believe the scream is related to the disappearance of Summer Wells.
She's been interviewed numerous times by not only my agency, but the TBI and the FBI, and we don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this case.
Jody Sue wishes she could go back to just a short time before Summer disappeared and before the scream she believes was Summer.
Wish every day that when I heard that scream, I hadn't tried to dismiss it.
Referencing the work of the FBI, TBI, and his own deputies, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson reiterated in an interview the same week as Jody Sue's that investigators have found absolutely no proof that an abduction has taken place. In the Beach Creek community, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Well, there's that, which there's a lot more to that too. I'm just giving you guys the basics to get the gist of everything to start with, which is how it all started in the beginning. So I agree. That's very possible, Molly. So moving on. Good old Jody Sue. God, what a mess. This whole neighborhood, this whole thing, guys, is there's a lot more to this than I could even remotely explain to you guys.
Well, let me ask you, Candace, if this...
Anyway. Yeah. All right, downloads again. And again, thank you all for joining us today for this. again so that we can get this back out and warm it back up because it got way too cold.
Yeah. Did you see Heather sent you an email?
Yeah. Let me check that before I do this real quick. Thank you again, Heather. Did you send me one too? Or no?
I didn't.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Here, earlier when I showed you the video of Summer in the back of the truck, where I was showing you that the nails had some bluing around the nail beds and stuff. All right. So, I want to thank you, Heather, dear. Appreciate you so very much. I have the greatest moderators on the planet, guys, and the most awesome co-host in the world. So, all right. So, this is way better. Thank you, Heather. So, there, if you look here at the base of the nail, it's called the quick area of the nail bed. Yes, there's dirt in the nails. I see that, but it's bluing. Okay. And I'd love to find the picture that we filtered. You can't see this one either very well, but there's bluing in here. And we blew this up and like put a filter behind it too. My mother even said she's 70 years old and she's been a nurse for that long, almost seems like, at least, but sad that she sees it too. So that was that picture, first of all. And again, thank you, Heather, for that one. I don't know. I used to have these pictures too. I just can't find them because I have so much stuff in there. And then, open, it says me. I put a filter behind this, okay? Where I think it was a yellow filter. And when you do it, you can see the bluing around her mouth. And if you look at her eyes, I looked at multiple pictures of children sleeping on purpose. I looked at pictures of my own children sleeping. I watched videos of kids sleeping. There's something different about this. I'm not saying she's deceased in this picture, but there's something different in this picture about her eye settlement. There's something different. That's all I can tell you. I cannot hit on it. I can't say it's 100%, but in my mind, allegedly, there's something different about this picture with this child. So, and again, thank you for that one, Heather. I do appreciate that. Now, this is a better picture of the house, so I can show you this blown up a little bit more. Maybe. Here we go. Okay. So, blew up. There we go. Now, over here, there's one of the 25 dogs. This is Grandis's trailer. This is the door that I was showing you guys. That is the basement door. Inside this wall, against the wall, is where Summer's bed was. Over here, the day that this was going on and every other day of the year, there's 35 dogs over here, okay? Under here, there's puppies under there living under there too. So this is the property. This driveway, as you saw in the one picture, circles all the way around. So right here at this camper is where Grandis was sitting, supposedly. And if you go literally, I think it was measured at 8 feet, maybe 10 feet. I think it was from here to there. I might be wrong, but it's very close. From here and go towards the house is where the door is that Summer supposedly went into this kitchen and then crawled down inside that death trap hole and came to the basement and then was taken from there. There is no way on this planet that any of these dogs let somebody run up here, grab a child, and run back out. First of all, that child, as her own father said, was stubborn, would have yelled and screamed. The dogs would have went nuts. And if her mother was right there, would have seen and heard that in a 2-minute period of time. We all know that that's not the way that happened. It's not possible. It's not possible. Those dogs would have kicked off immediately and went nuts. Okay? So they need to change their story. And you see, as I showed you, when it's brought up, how fast they answer, oh, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. They have not changed their story one time. That's what happened. There's no other option. End of story. And Summer would not, I'll tell you something else too. And this came out of the parents' mouths themselves. Summer would not have came through here and walked out down that hill to the 110 Ben Road or down to Ben Hill Road. Do you know why? Because she was afraid of snakes and spiders. And they were all through this wooded area down through here. So she wouldn't have done that. That was talked about before. So that didn't happen either. Okay. Moving on. And again, thank you, Ms. Heather, so much for that. I appreciate you. Great stuff, guys. You guys are awesome. Okay. Now, okay. Here's the other part of this interview I wanted you guys to see.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. Yes, she was. She was absolutely supposed to start school. As you heard woman talk about, she had her enrolled and everything already. So, sorry, I shouldn't do that. I just do not like her. It really does, Debbie. Really does. Okay.
You didn't do anything to hurt your daughter? No, sir.
Can you hear that okay, Mama Bear?
Yep, I could hear it really loud and clear.
All right, I'll turn it down. Sorry.
It's okay. I just wasn't
It was loud
expecting it that loud.
too. But
No, I don't hear anything. There's no sound, Dago. There's no sound.
Sherry, they were at the house the whole time, alone, all day long while they were gone. Another point being made, that they were neglectful to their kids, even at that aspect of it. So,
Yeah, there was no sound on the video, by the way.
yeah, I just realized that. I did it again and didn't click the box. So sorry. All right, let's do this again. I'm such a dunderhead. I am so.
Wells, who went missing from her rural Tennessee home on June 15th, 2021, around dinner time. Her mother watched her go into the house to join her brothers and then just never saw her again. Deception detection and body language expert Scott Rouse and Greg Hartley interviewed Don and Candace Wells and examined their demeanor to get some answers. Here's what's happened so far.
Breaking news, an Amber Alert now issued by the TBI for a missing 5-year-old girl. The search continues for Summer Wells from Rogersville.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said the search for Summer is, quote, definitely outside the norm.
Despite doing everything within our power, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear.
June 15th, 2021, it was just a normal day. I called my wife and she was getting her mother's prescription, so I decided just to go ahead and work late.
We just finished planting flowers, and then Summer, she has to go back in the house with the boys. I fixed my mom's knee brace, and I told my mom that I have to go back in with the kids. After I came into the house, I asked the boys where she was, and they said that she went downstairs to play in the playroom. And I come into the playroom, she wasn't here at all.
About 5:30 p.m., my wife Candace called, and
Now, that video or that picture you guys just saw, that's hilarious to me. Let me show you real quick again. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You're about to see, they show you the basement, the playroom as they call it, or she's calling it. Watch this. Because that ain't what it looked like when she went missing.
I fixed my mom's knee brace, and I told my mom that I have to go back in with the kids. After I came into the house, I asked the boys where she was, and they said that she went downstairs to play in the playroom. And I come into
When she went missing, There was nothing here but a mattress against this wall. None of this looked like this. It was dirty. It was a mess. You still see there's cobwebs up through here. This is not a place for a child, a 5-year-old child, to be living at, okay? Not to mention, this is a 5-year-old little girl. These are bunk beds that her brothers sleep in the same room with her. Again, illegal. So anyway, moving on.
The playroom, she wasn't here at all.
About 5:30 p.m., my wife Candace called and said she couldn't find Summer. I said, well, hang up for me and call 911. So I threw my tools in the car, got in there, and started down the road and called 911 myself. I pulled down here. I noticed my 3 boys are together, and my heart sunk because I knew she was abducted.
Candace and Dawn sat down with body language experts Scott Rouse and Greg Hartley. Now, Scott and Greg are interrogators. Together, they have been called human lie detectors.
Is there anything about Candace's story that makes you question the story?
No, not the way it played out and everything like that. I mean, yeah, you always have questions. I mean, I don't really have any. I mean, I don't really have any questions.
He was stammering, stuttering all over the place. What'd you make of that?
I think he edits and speaks, and never finishes the sentence.
We were under the impression he was holding back the information.
Okay, now this is important to me because we're trying to find this little girl. I don't care about anything else. It's very clear to me that he is editing. That means he's holding something back.
Exactly.
So the question is, what's he know that he's not telling us, right?
And that's the reason we wanted this second interview with your team, is because we could get to more information. Did you do anything to Summer?
No.
What do you think should happen to somebody that did this?
They should be put away for the rest of their lives.
Pay very close attention to this, okay? When they asked her, what do you think should be done to somebody that does this? She hesitated. She closed her eyes and put her head down and said they should be put away for the rest of their life because she knows that she's the guilty party. Okay? It's a whole psychological thing, folks. And she knows. They just said it. But I'll let you finish watching this. I just had to say that. All right, Molly, I'll get it in a minute, honey. Thank you so very much.
They should be tormented, I think.
If I ask you what happened to Jordan, he was missing. It wouldn't be a pause there.
It wouldn't take me 5 seconds to think about it. Give me 10 seconds in a room alone with him, and we'll be through. We haven't seen a lot of tears from her, but then you asked about the Cornbread Mafia, which is an organized grassroots crime syndicate in Tennessee, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What about those fellows that live around there in the Cornbread Mafia?
Well, cornbread mafia.
That's what we call them where we live.
I have no idea. I've heard about some hillbilly mafia type stuff and everything, you know. And
She is feeling emotion here that we didn't see any other place in the story. So this feels.
We don't know what it is.
That's
It
right.
could be fear.
That's right.
It could be guilt.
We can't read minds. We read symptoms, but those are pretty clear.
On June 15th, little 5-year-old Summer went missing from her family home. Her parents, Don and Candace, say they thought they were doing the right thing by going online, requesting the public's help to find their little girl. But Don says it all backfired. They became targets of online bullies.
when Summer came out missing, I thought the best thing I could do is turn to social media. So I put all her pictures out there on YouTube, Facebook, and everything I could, hoping that social media could help us find our daughter. And that's when the entire investigation got totally twisted around. I have two distant relatives that accused me of some horrific things that were definitely not true. They called TBI the second day after Summer's disappearance and told them that I'd done horrific things to my daughter and killed her. They put it out there on YouTube. After all these lies were spread all over social media, I started getting messages, tell them where your daughter is. Let's get this over with. There's all kinds of hate stuff constantly. The worst part of all the social media lies is people were focused on us, and even the police focused on us. Instead of going out looking for Summer, they started looking at me and my family. And we lost about 75 days. As far as all those lies and stuff, none of that matters. We just want our baby home.
Well, first, let me say, I'm glad to meet you both, but very sorry for the occasion. I wish we were talking about 1,000 other things than your missing daughter, Summer. Since you've last talked to Scott and Greg, have you learned anything at all? Anything new happened? Anything from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation? Anything that we don't know?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
First off, tell me about Summer. Candace, you're her mom. Tell me about Summer. What's she like? How did she spend her time mostly?
Playing with the toys.
Yeah. Did she like to play inside, outside?
Like to be out.
Now, Exactly, Diamond. We're gonna get into the timeline too, folks, because the timeline is all screwed up. Now, watch. This is the secondary version of this interview. Watch Candace the whole time. Okay, just watch her and the way she answers.
Outside most of the time.
Yeah. You have the three boys, and then Summer, she was the youngest.
Yeah.
And how'd she get along with the boys?
She was bossing the boys.
She ran the boys. Yeah. I kind of am watching her run around. She sure had a lot of energy. Was she one that would wander off, chase a butterfly, do something where she would look up and realize she was further away than she thought she might be?
No.
She stuck close to the house?
Close to the house.
Was she a daddy's girl or a mama's girl?
She was a daddy's girl.
Daddy's girl? Yeah. There were some vehicles that were seen around the property that day. A red truck, for example, was seen nearby. Did that person ever come forward and identify themselves?
Never did come forward as far as we know.
Do y'all know anybody with a red truck?
No.
You know, statistics tell us.
Did you see her face when she answered? It's coming. Just watch.
That when children are abducted or molested or in any way victimized, it's very seldom by strangers. It's a friend of the family, a family member. It's somebody that has access to the family. Do you have any idea, any concept of anybody that would have had knowledge of your property, how to get download, how to do anything that and I'm not asking.
Thank you, Heather. Again, guys, this channel is fully crowdfunded. I can't do it without it to keep me running. So anybody that has donated, thank you so very much for that. Anybody that would like to donate, there are the links, and I thank you again. Again, guys, the body language and the interaction amount that she's doing with this is, well, what's wrong? Oh, let me guess. Hold on. I figured.
I'm still here.
Yeah, it just blacks it out. It's all right, guys. I'll just give it a minute for me to come back. Hang on.
Suspended.
They block it until Dr. Phil definitely. And I'm using this for we're reviewing this, and it's
Right.
very. I don't understand how they do that.
I don't either.
Do you know how many people did this?
A lot.
Right. Just hang on, everybody. I hate when this happens.
Right.
You greedy butthead, Dr. Phil. You got enough money. I ain't taking nothing out of your pocket. Trying to help this little girl. Anyway, what goes on through this interview, guys, is as you saw, he's a doctor to begin with, so he knows. Well, welcome, Taxi, by the way. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. Yes, they straight away come back. Okay. So again. Sorry, guys. We'll make it work. Anyway. I would rather get copyright strikes over the death threats we got over this case. Yeah, that's true too. So what was I saying? What goes on through this interview? Okay. As you all know, Phil is a doctor. He's a psychologist. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to read people. So again, she's being questioned. Dawn's not. You saw Dawn was just as calm as could be, but she's being questioned, and he did that on purpose because she shows more weakness than anybody in this. She shows the guilt immediately in this. Okay. So, that being said, I'm going to skip to, if I can, to the one part. That way you can at least see it. And it'll show you what she does. But as you watch, one moment. Let me get to the point where it is. I fully agree with you, Vicky. All right, so this is where it starts based on the questions he's asking her. 1 second. They had two. I'll show you the picture. These two guys interview them, okay? And this is what these two guys do professionally. They watch body language, they listen to the voice ranges. Like he said, they are basically human polygraph people, okay? So this is what these two guys did. At some point, they may have taken it out of this part of the show. Here's what I'll do. Let me back this up just a little bit. I want you guys to hear what they're saying. And you'll be able to hear the audio, if nothing else. Okay.
Because each time we talked about the cornbread mafia, which you don't know about, that tears you up.
We'll see you soon.
Scott, Greg, you interviewed this family for hours. What is your theory? What's your summation about what happened?
Well, I'll start with you right up front. I don't think either one of them killed or injured Summer. We said that up front. I will say, I also don't think that Don, and I'll hand it to you in a second, I don't think Don has any guilty knowledge of anything based on all the time I've spent with him. And Candace, if you don't have guilty knowledge, if you know anything, this is your kid. You need to push this out, whatever you know, because you show signs that you're hiding something. I'm not hiding anything, though.
The reason we think you're hiding something is because
You're muted.
If you could see her face right now, she just looks completely here. I'm not hiding anything right now. That's what she just said when they said what they said to her.
because each time we talked about the cornbread mafia, which you don't know about, that tears you up. You emotionally fall apart. We see signs of stress.
But I don't know anything.
Everything about your body language suggests or it indicates to us that you know a little more than you're telling us.
Candace, there are 2 or 3 really red flag things that make us want to know more. Not saying you did X or you did Y. There are lots of ways that things leak in your body language and your behavior, and that's what we're seeing.
Do you understand that we're saying we don't suspect you of doing something wrong?
Yes, I understand that.
It's important to me that you understand that.
Yes, I understand that.
You guys pass polygraphs. I've just the logistics of this thing. It just does not point to you. And if investigators pointing it to you, they're not doing the math. It just doesn't make sense. What I'm saying is, I think you know more than you're telling, and that may be more than you're consciously acknowledging. You may know things you don't know, or maybe it's too horrible to think about, but you've got to cut through that, because you do react to certain things that suggest at some level you know something more than you're giving a voice to. And it's hard.
Now, she's not saying a word. She's staring at him as he's saying this to her with that sad puppy dog look on her face, because she does know. If it was me in those shoes and he was saying that to me, first of all, they'd had to hold me down from choking him out. That's number one. Number two, I'd have been screaming at this dude. Not if that was me, because I wouldn't have been, if that was the fact. You know what I mean? If I didn't know anything, he'd have known all about it. I'm just saying.
Right.
Now, all of this stuff going on is where I'm going to bring in my third theory to you guys. I had two main theories, like I told you guys, about what went on. I have a third theory that it took me a while to come to that point with it. But as we all know, as I've explained to you that don't know, but most of you do know, they both have a very bad drug issue. Pills, and Dawn is a admitted crack addict, and cocaine and marijuana and whatever else you can think of, okay? As hard as it is for me to say this and to believe that a parent could do this, there is in my mind, and there had become very prominent in my mind, a huge possibility. When this whole cornbread mafia thing got brought up, I'll explain to you what that is here in a minute, okay? That they gave this child, that Candace gave this child to people that they owed money to for drugs. There is a very, 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 very big and huge child sex trafficking problem in Tennessee. It's huge. I mean, it's everywhere. It's bad in Tennessee, guys. I researched it during this case. It's huge and it's insane. And a lot of it is based on drugs, money, and then the kids. Okay? There's a huge possibility that this woman handed her off to somebody or allowed somebody to take her child that they owed money to save their lives. Not saying that that person unalived Summer, but we don't know. Okay. Red asked, what was the question? I wonder if they asked if she sold the kiddo on the. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because as soon as they mentioned this cornbread mafia or mentioned that anything that may have been involved with something like that, she lost a grip on reality. Well, that's the first time I've seen her in all the interviews that I've seen. That's the first time I've seen her crack and cry about anything that had to do with Summer, guys. So why is that? Again, these two guys do this for a living. They are professional polygraph people per se. Like they said, they know what they're watching and they've all said she's hiding something. She's holding something back. Again, make your own decisions based on what you think. I'm going to pull on with the rest of the audio for this.
Hard for me to say, you need to tell us what you don't know.
But if I knew, then I
know that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm telling you to say, tell me what you don't know. And you say, well, how can I tell you if I don't know? And I'm saying you've got to be willing to take your guards down and think through if there's anything that you're pushing out of consciousness, if there's anything that you're just not willing to acknowledge. We need your help to find your daughter. I guarantee you, when this is solved, and it's going to be solved, this isn't going to be a stranger. This is going to be somebody you know, somebody you've crossed paths with somewhere, somehow, in my opinion. It's just a matter of you're going to find it out when they're caught, or you're going to find it out because you go back through and do an inventory and figure out everything you can possibly figure out and lead us to who they are. And every day goes by, that trail gets colder and colder and colder. And if she was abducted and she's been trafficked somewhere, she can be found. I want to find that baby. I want to find that child and bring her back. Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to say goodbye to Don and Candace, and then we're going to kind of summarize everything for you viewers in hopes that maybe something can be triggered in you, something you may have seen, something you may have known, that you had the opportunity to observe the interactions. Any thoughts?
We saw a lot of differences in Candace as her movements, her cues are very small because all she did was just dead eye you the whole time. So our biggest focus was her respiration. And if you'll go back and look at some of this, as you start talking about the cornbread mafia, as you're easing up to that, we'll see your respiration increase. And again, like I was telling her, we'll see her adapters. Adapters are the things you use to get rid of that built up stress or tension. Anything that's a repetitive motion or action. And she was doing that here, very small. But then she started breathing heavily. That's what we saw mostly in her. As the closer you got, the heavier she got breathing.
Now, she may have nothing to do with this child's disappearance whatsoever. Nothing. But those red flag indicators and those kinds of things that say, why aren't you more forthcoming with information? Why don't you ask? Why don't you tell? Combined with, and you can see it very clearly on her as you watch the video, her jacket opening and closing because of how much respiration she has and a little bit of barriering or needing more space, just makes you feel uncomfortable.
I think there have been people around this home, workers with Dawn, people coming over to hang
for whatever
out,
purpose, yeah.
party, whatever. I won't make allegations about what they were doing when they were there, but and you know, they see somebody get obsessed and then come back on their own accord and take the child. It's happened, sadly, thousands of times.
I think they probably are aware of who's around them that is dangerous.
I think she has more knowledge than she's either acknowledging or sharing. One of the two. And I believe that to the core of my soul. I want to thank Scott and Greg for their expertise today. I also thank Don and Candace.
All right. Now, that being said, okay, sorry about the break on that, guys. We got the warning from it. So, one second here.
Did you have anything at all to do with your daughter's disappearance?
Some more hard questions for you. Did you have anything at all to do with your daughter's disappearance?
All right, this is the other part of this, another version of this that I had found that I should be able to show you guys. I really want you guys to see this. It means a lot, and it shows a lot, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to carry this or finish the rest of this tomorrow. I ain't going to be able to do all of this today, but...
Appearance?
All right. Let's do this again.
Some more hard questions for you. Did you have anything at all to do with your daughter's disappearance?
Sir.
Did you have anything to do with Summer's disappearance?
No, sir. Do you have any idea where she might be? I wish to God I did. If I did, we'd go get her. I'd call TBI or whatever, say, look, I did this, I did that, I messed up. Can we please go get her now? I would have done that a long time. I would have done that day one.
Do you have any reason to believe your wife knows anything?
No, I don't think so at all. She's too tore up.
You think she'd tell you if she did?
Yeah.
If she been in a state where you could ask her that and she may not remember if you.
I've asked her many times, what about this? What about that?
What about what?
You know, like, what about her mother? You know, and then this or that. And what about this person? Her mother's ex lover.
Anything at all to do with your daughter's disappearance?
Sir?
Did you have anything to do with Summer's disappearance?
No, sir.
And so I went down there to check, and she was.
Now, I want to show you guys something that I learned a long time ago. There is something called, my wife has 2 degrees in psychology. I helped her get those by, studying and all this other stuff. People will do something involuntarily. I'm going to explain it in a minute, Red. their bodies will react differently than their brain does or their mouth does when they are asked a question. I'm going to show you guys something that I want you to see. Okay. It took me a while to catch this. My wife showed it to me. Then we finally figured out what it was, looked it up. It's an involuntary movement that a body will make trying to tell the truth when you are lying. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I know it sounds insane and I know I sound crazy, but this is really important. Now, watch when they ask him, did you have anything to do with your daughter's disappearance? And he says no. Watch his head.
Sir, did you have anything to do with Summer's disappearance? No, sir.
And so I went down.
Did you see it?
He nodded yes. No, sir, but nodded yes.
He nodded yes. It's an involuntary movement that your body makes as a natural instinct because it happened. So I'm glad you guys see that. It's called a tell. Thank you, transporter. Yes. And there's a psychological aspect to it, but he definitely shook his head yes and said no. They've done that throughout interviews multiple times, guys. That's why I want you guys to see this. It's very telling.
Down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
You know what happened, Summer? No. Do you know who took Summer?
We actually get harder on the questions for what happened that day when this happened. How long was it before this happened when you come home, when you first come home?
I'm not doing all that. I can't do this.
So I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
Well, let's not get to some of these things, right? Let's talk about Don, because you did sit down with him first, and you spent a long time interviewing him, and we've agreed to look at some particular things that seem to be of some significance. Is there anything about his story that makes you question this one? No, not the way it played out and everything like that. I mean, yeah, we took questions, and I asked myself, the way that it happened, and her emotions, and her state of mind. Did you hold the questions you can? I mean, I don't really have, I don't really have any questions. I mean, okay.
And did you hear how he was all over the place? He absolutely has questions. Yeah. Sorry about the echo. He doubts her. He's doubted her. The brain doesn't lie and releases in movement. Absolutely was Sherry. And it was right there. It took me a little while to find that, but I did. As you know how much time I spent on this. But anyway, moving on. Sorry.
You guys are highly involved in interrogation deception as well. And from a psychological standpoint, not paying any attention yet to any of the body language or any of the physiology of that, I heard him say yes twice and no 4 times in there. He was stammering, stuttering all over the place. What'd you make of that?
For me, what I see is everything as you speak. You'll notice his eyes are dropping down to his left. He's having kind of internal conversation about how do I answer this very complicated question. I think he edits and speaks, and never finishes the
There aren't versions of the truth.
Right. We were under the impression he was holding back all information from us at that point.
And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
Candace refused at first, but finally agreed to sit down.
Candace, I'm going to have to ask you some more questions. I told you this. Did you do anything with Summer?
No.
You know what happened to Summer?
No.
Do you know who took Summer?
No.
Anybody in your family involved with this? People are always going to point their fingers to people closest to somebody. It's just the nature of how it goes. What do you got to say to those people?
Well, but they're wrong.
Why are they wrong?
Because I had nothing to do with this.
Okay. What jumped out at you here?
Immediately, when she said no for the 3rd time, it was quiet. It's a whisper.
Okay, there's a distinct difference here qualitatively.
Yes. No. Do you know what happened to Summer? No. Do you know who took Summer?
Okay, that time, nothing came out of her mouth.
Right.
So, first question.
I told you this. Did you do anything to Summer? No. Do you know?
Okay. Did you do anything to Summer? No.
Demonstrative, no. What happened to Summer? No. Do you know?
Yeah, what happened to Summer?
Almost identical answer.
Yeah, same qualitative answer.
Who took Summer?
All right. Do you know who took Summer?
Head shakes no still. The voice doesn't even say anything. A silent no comes out, and then she just.
We call it fading facts.
Okay. Then she gets out a weak no. You hear strong.
Now, that was when they asked that question to her, she did not, there was a pause before answering. And you saw that, like he just said, that weak no. She shook her head like she's getting ready to break down.
That's the first question. But then you say, do you know? It's like, no. So what do you make of that?
So I immediately wanted to go further and push a little harder. And I will say, when you do what we do for a living, sometimes people cry and you force them to cry. So this immediately caused the next question.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the next tape.
Is there any reason anyone near you would want to hurt you or your kids?
Not that I'm aware of.
What do you think should happen to somebody that did this? To the person that did this, what do you think should happen to them?
They should be put away for the rest of their lives. I mean, they should be tormented, I think.
Out of the gate, if I ask you what happened to Jordan, he was missing. What happened?
Now, the psychological backing of that question and answer right there, if she paused, looked down, because she knows that she's talking about herself when they ask her that question. What do you think should be done to somebody that does something like this? She doesn't want to say that about herself, but she has to say it because that's what she feels.
Right.
If that, okay? Again, there's a whole psychological aspect to this, guys, and it's real, 100%. Let me get through the rest of this here. I'm going to explain to you what Cornbread Mafia is, and I think we're going to kill it for today, and we'll pick it back up tomorrow. But there's a lot more, guys. I haven't even really scratched too much of the surface. But anyway,
You wouldn't say, it wouldn't be a pause there. You wouldn't say put him away for a long time, he should go away forever. You would have a very extremely graphic answer to that.
Yeah, it wouldn't take me 5 seconds to think about it. Give me 10 seconds in a room alone with him, and we'll be through.
If someone's selling your dog,
yeah, same answer.
That's the answer.
Same answer. But here, what you get is very different. Here, what you get is a pause and then a response.
The person that did this, what do you think should happen to them?
Okay, now, you said, what do you think should happen to them? First thing she does is close her eyes.
She's blocking.
We call that eye blocking or escaping.
Yes.
We're getting away.
And then there's a pause.
Yep, she's thinking.
Watch your respiration. Watch your breathing. You can't miss it.
They should be put away for the rest of their lives. I mean, they should be tormented, I think.
A lot here. We see her eyebrow go up there. She's not sure what she should say. Everything she's doing says I'm unsure and shouldn't be saying this. That's what we're seeing there.
For sure. And then you'll notice if I ask you those same questions, your chin would jut. You would say that person needs to be put away for the rest of their life and tormented with no second guessing. The other thing you likely would not do is drift down into your right in an emotional state. We haven't seen a lot of emotion, but we see it here.
So I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
You didn't do anything to hurt your daughter. You didn't do anything to hurt your daughter. Do you know something about it that you haven't shared?
and there it is. That is when I pretty much had enough info to say they're fully involved in what happened. Okay. That's when I made my decision on it. So again, now, and guys, thank you for bearing with me as I do all this crap to explain all this to you. And the reason why I explain it to you is because there's a really huge psychological aspect to this. In interrogations and things like that, I've researched so much of this stuff because you want to watch people's faces and see what you can get out of that. You know what I mean? When you look to I think I explained this to you guys a while back. If you're talking face to face with somebody and interrogating them, if they're talking to you and answering you and going like this, we did that for the Debbie Collier case when her daughter was talking. I showed you guys that how she kept going like this and like this. They're not telling the truth. It's a fact. So you just and the stuttering, the pausing. If somebody asks me if I did something to my child and I know I didn't, nope. Did you? No, I sure didn't. Did you? Because
Nope.
I want to know who did. She couldn't do that. She had to stop because when they asked her that question again, what do you think should be done to somebody that does something like this? Like they call it blocking. She closed her eyes to try to get away from the situation, to come up with the right answer, and she couldn't. That's where the pause came from. And then there it was. That's guilt to me. I'm sorry, but that's pure guilt to me. So that is that part of it. And I know a lot of you guys in here have your own specifics on this. Boy, oh boy, it's interesting. So, real quick here, just because this is kind of it's been a running joke. Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, parts of southern Ohio. Now I'm starting to slang myself. Ohio, like my southern twang. Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, parts of southern Ohio have something that has there's people involved in things called the cornbread mafia. Okay, because it's made up into being a joke, but it's not. And I'm going to show you why. He knows who she was. Oops there. Thank you, Dago. This has been so helpful because I had not seen all of this. I wish that we all do, Sylvia. We all do. I promise you that. I wish. Do you know how many times I almost got in my truck and drove down there to go looking for her? Right. I couldn't. You know what I mean? I have my own family, but I really almost did one day. So, let me find this here. I'm just going to give you a little bit of I guess what you want to call a story, but it's not really. So hold on.
There is Summer Wells. It's the latest.
Blah, 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 blah. That was loud as hell. Sorry.
You're right, Tiffany. It's going
In
to
my
take more
opinion,
than 2 streams.
It's probably going to be a series we're going to run. But like I said, I wanted to go back to the very beginning and bring it all the way up to right now and see what we've missed. And if I'm like, there's people in here that are watching this now for the first time that are seeing some of these things for the first time, and it's going to get that out in a more broad range. Mm-hmm. That's, in my opinion, that'll help in a lot of ways, because now more people are aware, more people will see the truth for what it is, and more people can put the word out. And that's why we have to do this for this little girl, if nothing else, guys. That's how I feel about it, and that's why I'm doing it. So,
yeah.
The Jody Sue angle alone takes a lifetime. Got it. Yeah. Well, if you can understand what she's saying, right? That's a fact. That's a fact, Tiffany. But we'll if I got to break it into a few different episodes, we're gonna do it. And as long as you guys are okay with that, that way I can give you guys every single piece of what we have. Like I said, I have a bunch of stuff. Molly has a bunch of stuff. There's quite a few mods in here that have a bunch of stuff on this too. That, and even subscribers that just were passionate about this case. So I just want to give it all to you the best way I can and see what you guys can take from it that way. I'm just going to give you a very small explanation as into what the Cornbread Mafia thing is about, so you guys will have some understanding of that, and go from there.
Got raging on the internet since the parents of the 5-year-old have been introduced to millions of viewers on the Dr. Phil show.
Now, part 2 of the 2-part segment aired late this afternoon. News Channel 11's Ainsley Daniel has been leading our coverage since Summer's disappearance in June, and she reports on one of the biggest takeaways from the Dr. Phil show.
Josh and Sarah, we took a look at the Google Trends in the past day for Cornbread Mafia. As you can see behind me here, plenty of hits followed. The related topics kept getting closer to Summer's home: Hawkins County, kidnapping, Phil McGraw, Rogersville, and Summer.
You have to actually look at what is organized crime.
There are distinct factors, starting with the existence of a chain of command and a means of moving money.
You usually see money flowing from the bottom to the top. You usually see some type of identifier via tattoos, the type of clothes that individuals are wearing, colors, stuff of that nature.
That's not what you get out of this 80s era organization who got their start moving marijuana, not children.
At this point, it's more of legend and folklore versus actual possible reality.
Candace Bly's reaction was unmistakable, but the cause of her stress could be misunderstood.
We don't know what the triggering effect is. It could have just triggered her for something else and not necessarily their involvement with or possible involvement with her abduction or disappearance.
Dr. Phil used specific words when he told Don and Candace what he thought of their involvement.
My understanding is Dr. Phil says that to the family, and he makes it specific, and he says in her murder and then the covering and removal of the body. He doesn't say anything else about trafficking or anything of that nature. So I found that kind of unique that he worded it in that way.
Dr. Phil's words and the parents' reactions are certainly taking center stage in the 2 days of episodes.
To me, as a former investigator, it doesn't say a lot to me that the way they're acting, the way they do. What I want to look at more is the statements that they're making, their body language, and how they present themselves. That's what I'm going to look more at versus the number of times they get before a camera.
But the organization may well exist, says our expert, but no structure exists to pull off Summer's disappearance.
So I think it's more of a code of silence versus an actual organized operation.
Stanton says he trusts the agencies leading the investigation into what happened to Summer Wells.
Now, that being said, that didn't explain to you what Cornbread Mafia was. There is an organization, but it's not like the mob, what we know as the mafia, okay? But the reason why Candace would get upset when that gets brought up is because she, in her mind, can say, when they say Cornbread Mafia, can turn that into a whole other type of people, a group of people, a organization of certain people, drug dealers, traffickers, whatever. When they said that, what that triggered, you see what I'm saying? So again, that's why. I'm going to try again the way mine works. Most of the time, person is deceased or close to evidence. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Whatever you guys want to do. And again, thank you, Heather. Again, if anybody happens to have any tips, thoughts, anything that goes along with this, that is the number. 1-800-TBI-FIND. The email is tbi@tn.gov. That has not changed. Write it down if you guys have any tips, info, anything for anybody that sees this, please do. And if you're not comfortable doing it, give it to me and I'll do it. Either way. Deflection. So I think that's going to do it for today, folks. How long have we been live?
Almost 3.5.
Yeah, I think I don't want to drag you guys through this all day because I still got tonight to do too. So okay, we will pick this up for part 2 tomorrow. I don't think I might get through the whole thing tomorrow. There's so much more. There may be a part 3 Saturday or Monday. Either way, maybe 4. I don't know, guys. There's a lot. There really is a lot to this.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got 4 actual notebooks full that are filed away, thick ones, full of notes on this. Not to mention what I have in my computer or anything else. So I hope that you guys are getting something out of this. I hope you guys gotten some kind of info, entertainment. I mean, I hate to say entertainment, but you know what I mean by that. And if there's any questions at all, feel free to throw them at me. In fact, if you want to throw any in the chat right now, please do it right now before we end the show, and I can answer them. If not, you want to save them for tomorrow, go for it. I'd be happy to answer anything you want to ask. And if I can't answer it, I'll find an answer for you. Molly could probably answer it. I think Mama Bear has quite a bit of info on this as well. There's a few of us in here that can answer just about any question you have about this case. I can promise you that. And again, this is all just to help Summer. Okay. And again, thank you for being here for this, to reignite this case a little bit, to put some heat under this again, because it has gone cold and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I love you guys to death for being here for this. And I promise you that wherever Summer is, whatever's going on, she will thank you as well, guys, because that's how many people love this little girl and want this little girl to come home in one form or another. So it is what it is. Again, anybody that may have donated to help with this, like I said before, I am fully crowdfunded, folks, to keep myself rolling. So thank you all for any of you that did that. Oh yeah. Let me check my emails real quick. Sorry, Molly, I got wrapped up in what I was doing, hon. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's right. All right, let me show you this real fast so you guys can get a better view of what I was talking about. In the house to the basement, when you come into the kitchen, this is the counter. Thank you. This is the counter here that I was showing you. You go under the counter, as Molly set this up very nicely, thank you, to go to the basement, which is kind of crazy. Okay. Then it's showing her, she has to duck down backwards to slide under the counter to find the stairs to go down. I mean, guys, and then this is the ceiling down, going down the stairs. And then she's in Summer's bedroom along with the boys' bedroom because the boys sleep here. And as you see that picture that we saw where they showed the cute pink little dresser and the toys that was there at that time. 1 second, folks. Anyway, so all you see over here is that mattress. That's it. None of that other stuff is there, that they put that there after the fact to make it look better, okay? I'm not sure what you're pointing at here. Those are the bunk beds for the boys, and that was part of the mattress, I think, for Summer. Over there as well. There's nothing down here. This does not look like a child's room to me. I'm sorry. I would never put my children down here like this. It's disgusting. Anybody that would do this with their kids, sorry. I just don't agree with it. And again, spider webs. I mean, this is not a safe environment for a child. It's like a dungeon, folks. A dungeon. Would you put your kids in a dungeon? No. Not. Now, I can understand a teenager, a 16-year-old kid, wanting to have, it's a decent-sized basement, wanting to have this basement, whatever, but they would do something. You clean it at least or whatever. Now, understand something, guys, also. Let's back up here. Right here where she's standing, if she were to turn around and face us, that leads you into another room, okay? That's where Dawn and Candace's mattress is laying on the floor. They have a big-ass TV hanging on the wall, and they have a mattress laying on the floor in the basement. That's their bedroom. That's the room that Summer slept in between them with for years, even to the point where she went missing. She would always end up in bed with them. And as I had stated, Dawn admitted to, at some point in time, multiple times, to not sleeping with clothes on. They both said that. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Putrid and disgusting. And then this is the window over by the stairs. It's covered over with some kind of foil or something. X-Files shit. I don't know what that is. But again, this is not the type of... It's like a dungeon. Mm-hmm. It looks like a dungeon, guys. It really does. Those are the... That's the corner with the cobwebs and all the other crap down there. But look, that is that poor little girl. That's her life. Her bedroom, where she sleeps. God knows what she got bit by. There are upstairs. There's cockroaches all over the place inside this house, guys. I had heard at some point, and I can't say it's true. I saw the cockroaches, that there was also bed bugs in here too. I don't know. Things happen to some people. I get it. Deal with it and fix it and raise your children healthy and the right way, not this way. You don't throw your child down in a basement, in a dungeon, and say, go play. Leave me alone. Because I promise you that's what went on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. You really detailed this, Molly. Good job. I don't know what that green thing there is, but I think these are cracks, maybe, and the dimensions of the walls. So again, thank you, Molly, for that very much. Let me check to make sure.
Right, transporter. Said Dracula would not put his coffin in there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just disgusting. Completely and utter. It just makes me sick. I'm sorry. I agree with you, Sammy. It makes me feel that way. The first time I saw the pictures a year or so, actually more than a year ago, I was just like, that's where this child was living. And you saw the kitchen. There's no room to move. Nobody cleans. Nobody cooks. Nobody nothing. I don't like them either, Molly, because it makes me sick thinking that child slept there or whatever she did. I don't know. I don't know. This case saddens me, and it always has. Believe me, once we get through all of this, we're taking a break from it because it's going to be rough for me, at least, because I just ugh. So again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. All of you guys, there was quite a few people in here today, and I really appreciate that more than you guys know.
Yes.
I hope. I just want to find that baby and wrap her in it. Yeah, we all do. I'm not even a mama, and I want to do it. Okay? We all do. Like I said, there's multiple times that I almost jumped in my truck and drove down there myself. So, again, thank you guys for caring, for wanting this, for being here and staying here through all of this. I appreciate it. I hope to see you guys here again tomorrow if you're available. Same time, 12:30 tonight. Don't forget though, tonight 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be giving you guys the true story behind the movie Candyman. Oops. Anyway, which should be interesting. So join me tonight 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as it says right there. I hope you guys are here. For those of you that can be, I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to it because it's an interesting story. The movie was great, by the way. Please have an amazing, great rest of your day. Well, rest of your few hours till I see you again. And I want to thank you, Mama Bear, for joining me once again today. Moderators, you did an amazing job again today. Thank you, folks, for the patience for my technical faults and for all the support you guys give me. I love each and every one of you guys to death. I will see you all so very soon. Mama Bear, again, thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye, folks. See you soon.
Bye, guys.